Hello, fans, and welcome to This Day in Baseball, where we're going to bring you a full radio broadcast of today's game. And before we do that, I just want to thank Classic Baseball Radio, and there's a link in the notes where you can check out their full channel. They have many great radio broadcasts. And while you're listening to today's game, if you want to check out much more about the game and the players, look on the links below, and you're going to see links to player pages, the date the game happened, the year it happened, and the play-by-play. Enjoy the game, and check out the links while you're watching the game, and please don't forget to hit the subscribe button so that every time new content comes out, you're going to get that firsthand. And thank you again for checking out This Day in Baseball, and enjoy the game.
Hi, everybody, and thank you very much, Earl Gillespie. We get set for play ball. Al Barlick calling him at the plate this afternoon. Hank Bauer, the right fielder for the New York Yankees, steps in, and we're all set for the first pitch of the World Series. Here it comes, and it comes in low for ball one to Bauer. Hank Bauer, a right-handed batter, wears number 9 in his uniform. He had a .268 batting average this past season with 12 homers and 50 RBIs. Hit .258 in the series last season. It's ball one. Spahn into the windup once again. On the southpaw's next pitch, swung on. It's a hard ground ball into left field for a base hit. And Bauer has the first hit of the afternoon. A hard grounder in between Logan and Mathews for a single to lead off the World Series. And incidentally for Bauer, he extends his series record because Bauer has hit safely now in 15 consecutive World Series games. He had the record at 14 last year. He's extended the record now to 15. And so Bauer is on first base as Gil McDougald comes up now. The New York Yankee is second baseman and man of all spots in the infield, second, short, and third. He's hitting .250 for the season as he comes in for the World Series. He clips one foul outside the right field line, takes one hop into the seats and out of the seats and outside that line. So it is strike one to Gil McDougald, who is a fine hit-and-run man in that number 2 spot for the New York Yankees. Bauer with a single is on first base. Ralph Houck, the Yankee coach over there at first. Frankie Crissetti at third. The stretch from the pause by Spahn. Here comes the pitch to McDougald. It comes in wide. And the count now is 1-1. Bauer on first base. And the Braves at double play depth. Bauer leads off first. And he is picked off. There's a throw to first base and over to second, and he's picked off. Spahn to Adcock. To Logan, as Bauer was far off the bag and he couldn't get back, and is out on the play. Warren Spahn, who, like Whitey Ford, has a tremendous pickoff motion, caught Bauer fully 15 feet off the bag. Bauer started out towards second base, and the pickoff went from Spahn to Adcock to Logan, and there's one out. That Bauer just had no chance whatsoever to get back to first base. He was darting towards second. He was about halfway there, as a matter of fact, when Spahn got the ball over to Adcock. He saw he was trapped, and they threw down to Logan for the out. There's a hard liner. It's off Mathews' glove, picked up by Logan, but there'll be no play. As McDougald sent a line drive, Mathews leaped, made a great stop of the ball, and it rolled just about 5 or 6 feet away. Logan, the shortstop, went over to pick it up, but no throw was made, and McDougald is on first base on a line shot off the third baseman's glove. It scored as a base hit for Gil McDougald on a liner that Mathews leaped but couldn't come down with. So there's a man on first with one away. And the batter now is Mickey Mantle, the American League home run king this past season. Here's the pitch, and there's a high foul off to the right for strike one. Goes up into the upper deck. Mantle hit .304 for the season with 42 homers and 97 RBIs. Here comes the pitch. Mantle swings. There's a pop-up along the third baseline. Mathews is coming in. Also, Crandall goes out, and Crandall takes it halfway to third base and just outside the line. So that means there are 2 away. McDougald staying in first base, and Elston Howard, who is batting in the number 4 slot for the New York Yankees, is now in there in the cleanup position for the New York Yankees, and Ernie Johnson starts limbering up on the bullpen for Milwaukee. Elston Howard, who hit .314 for the last season. Here's the pitch, and it's a strike called on the outside corner. A fastball came in just below the shoulders. Elston Howard, the batter, strike one the count. McDougald on first. Here's the pitch from Spahn, and it misses the outside corner. The count now is 1-1. 1-1, the count to Elston Howard. There's a stretch in the pause by Spahn. The pitch swung on as a foul back. Going out of play. It's ball 1 and strike 2 to Elston Howard. Howard is 29 years old, 6'2", about 200-pounder. Right-handed batter in there, who hit .273 in the World Series last season. He led the Yankee regulars in batting with a .314 average this year. Didn't bat enough times to figure in the American League batting championship. There's a pitch which hits in the dirt, skips away from Crandall, and into second base goes Gil McDougald. Spahn broke off a curve too hard that time. It was off the shin guards of Crandall and rolled back. As on the play, McDougald went into second base. So Gil is now in there in scoring position. It's scored as a wild pitch. And the batter now, Elston Howard, is back in with a count 2-2. A look back toward second. Here's the pitch to Howard. And there goes a fly ball to left center field. Papko is going back to the fence, still going back. He's got it. And he hits up against the fence after making the catch near the 394-foot side. He took on the cinder path with a brilliant catch out there in left center field to retire the side. So on the top of the first inning, the total show no runs. There were 2 hits, no errors, and 1 is left. And a great hand for Andy Pafko as he comes in. The score after the top half of the first inning, New York 0, Milwaukee coming up. In the bottom half of the first inning, Red Schoendienst, Johnny Logan, and Eddie Mathews coming up to face southpaw Whitey Ford. For the Yankees defensively, Carey is over there at third, Kubek at short, McDougald is at second, and Scullin at first. Berra's the catcher. In the outfield, Howard is in left, Mantle center, and Bauer in right. Red Schoendienst had a .262 average this past season with a homer, 24 RBIs. Ford starts the windup. Swung on. There's a fly ball going out to left center field. Mantle moves to his right. He's under it, and he has it. So Schoendienst flies out to Mantle in fairly shallow left center, and there's 1 away in the bottom half of the first inning as Johnny Logan steps in. Logan hit .226 this year as he slumped over previous seasons, but he still proved to be a clutch player for Milwaukee. He had 11 homers and 53 runs batted in. Hit .185 in last year's series, a right-handed batter. The pitch comes in wide for a ball. Johnny's 31 years old. One of his hits last year was a clutch 10th inning double in the 4th game, which sent home the tying run. Moments later, Mathews' long homer scored Johnny ahead of him, and the Braves had rallied for the victory. The pitch swung on. There's a line drive, which is in the left field line. It is in fair territory, up against the left field fence. Logan is on the way to second, and he's in there with a stand-up double. Johnny Logan pulled a sharp drive inside the left field line, took 1 hop up against the fence there in the left field corner, and Logan, in at second with a stand-up double, is in scoring position for the Milwaukee Braves as Eddie Mathews, the third baseman, batting in the number 3 spot, steps in to face Whitey Ford. So Eddie Mathews, whose home run bat sparked out 31 for Milwaukee this season, is up there at the plate. He had a .251 batting average, hit .227 in the series last year. There's 1 out, 1 on, no score. McDougald is playing a very deep second base for Mathews, a left-handed batter, and there's a curve for a called strike as Ford put one just below the shoulders in the inside corner. Strike 1 to Eddie Mathews. On deck, the cleanup batter, Hank Aaron. Mathews famed last year for a great stop he made to end the World Series Classic. Here's Ford's next pitch, and there's a foul coming back out of play, and the count now is strike 2 to Mathews. Logan edges off second. Here's the pitch, and a swing and a miss as Mathews goes out swinging at a curveball, which was blown away. So Mathews out on a strikeout, and here comes Hank Aaron, who is the big right fielder for the Milwaukee Braves, who this past season batted .326. He had 30 homers and 95 RBIs. And last year, he had a tremendous series with a .393 batting average, including 3 homers. Logan is on second. There are 2 outs. Yogi looks in toward the Yankee dugout. And now looks out to Whitey Ford on the mound as Aaron, a right-handed batter, steps in. Here's the pitch, and it is a called strike. A curveball which came in just about shoulder high for strike one to Hank Aaron. Outfield playing deep, slightly pulled around toward left, not too much. His homers, Aaron's homers, clinched the last two pennants for the Braves. There's the stretch and the pause by Ford. Here's the pitch, and it comes in low. Count now is 1-1 to Aaron, the number 4 batter for Milwaukee. A beautiful afternoon for baseball. There's no score. We're in the bottom half of the first inning, and Logan, with a double, is on second with 2 outs. Now Ford all set once again. Aaron stands deep in the batter's box. He swings the bat with one hand as he gets ready. Now grips it with 2, looks out toward the mound. Here's the pitch, and it comes in high, a fastball. And the count now is ball 2, strike 1 to Aaron. In last season's World Series, Hank hit safely in all 7 games. He led hitters on both teams with a .393 average. He's known for those quick wrists. All set, 2 balls, strike 1. Here's Ford's pitch. And there goes a foul, which is going toward the seats and out of play. On the count now is 2-2 to Aaron. Hank, however, is not coming into the World Series in the crest of a batting streak, but rather in somewhat of a slump. During the last few games of the season, he went 0 for 13. Hank says he's all rested, though, and this is what really counts, the World Series. 2-2 to Aaron. Logan on second, and they're 2 away. All set to go. Here's the pitch. And it's strike 3 swinging as Aaron goes down swinging at a curve which broke in tight to him and low. So in this bottom of the first inning, the total show, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left. And the score at the end of the first inning, New York nothing, Milwaukee nothing. Here now is the second inning of the World Series getting underway. There's no score, and the leadoff batter for the New York Yankees is Yogi Berra. Warren Spahn into the windup. Here comes the first pitch to Yogi, and it's a strike call, a fastball for knees to Berra, who hit .266 this past season with 22 homers and 90 runs batted in. Last year during the World Series, he had a .320 batting average. Here's the windup. The next pitch to Berra is swung on. There's a line shot to left center field. It's in there for a base hit. Covington goes over to field it. And Yogi Berra's on first base with the 3rd New York hit. A single into short left center field. A low liner clipped out there, putting a man on first base and bringing up Bill Scullin, the Yankee first baseman, whose average this past season was .273. That included 14 homers and 73 RBIs. Last year, during the World Series, Bill was injured. He got up only 4 times and had no hits. Berra's on first, nobody out. Spahn with the stretch and the pause. And here comes the pitch to Scullin. And there's a high hopper going into left field for a base hit for Scullin. Berra's on the way to third. Coming to make the throw to third. Berra is out. Yogi Berra, trying to move from first to third, is thrown out. Covington to Mathews. It was a one-hopper thrown in by Covington to the base, and Mathews was quick to put on the tag as Berra came in sliding. And Scullin, who gets credit for the single, moved on to second on the play at third. Well, the New York Yankees so far have had 4 hits in the ball game. But the Braves have been alert in getting those plays at the bases, a pickoff, and now the throw from the outfield. So Sculin's on second with 1 out, and the batter is Carey, who hit .286 for the season. Carey, a right-handed batter, swings. There's a high fly ball to deep center field. Papko is moving back, seems to have it within range now. Makes the catch about 380 feet away. Scullin bluffs, moving to second, and then gets back to third. Bluffs to third, gets back to second, and it was a wise maneuver he did because Papko threw a strike from deep center into the glove of Mathews. So Andy Carey with a long fly out to Papko. Scullin bluff moving to third and hastened back to second. You can hear the hum of the crowd and a beautiful throw from center field by Andy Pafko. Here's Tony Kubek, who hit .265 this past season with 2 homers, 48 RBIs. He's a left-handed batter. They're 2 away, Scullin on second. And Spahn all set. Delivers. It's a strike call. Ernie Johnson again is warming up for Milwaukee. Tony Kubek, who comes from Milwaukee, in there batting. Strike one the count. Here's the pitch. And there's a ground foul, which is outside of third. For strike two to Kubek. Well, in this inning, we saw Bauer lead off with a single to left center. Then Scullin sent a skipper, which went into left. Bauer, trying to reach third, was thrown out. Covington to Mathews. Scullin kept moving into second. And after Carey's long fly out to center, Scullin bluffed moving to third, stayed at second, where he is now with Kubek up there with a 2-strike count. Here's Spahn's pitch. It's a strike call, strike three, and Kubek is out. So the side retired in the second inning with the total showing no runs. There were 2 hits, no errors, and 1 left on base. And the score after the top half of the second is New York nothing and Milwaukee nothing. Here now is the bottom half of the second inning. And for Milwaukee, Joe Adcock, playing first base, is up there. Joe has played first base and also the outfield for the Braves this past season. He hit .275 with 19 homers, 54 RBIs. Hit 200 in the series last year. Here's Whitey Ford's first pitch, and there goes a base hit to short right field. Adcock swinging an outside pitch, laced one into short right, a single, putting Adcock on first with Wes Covington coming up to the plate. Well, Adcock didn't wait very long. He stroked that one to short right. It was a liner in between McDougal and Scullin. And here's Covington, who had a tremendous season with a .327 batting average. That included 24 homers and 74 RBIs. He hit .208 in the series last year. He's a left-handed batter who crouches over the plate. On first base is Adcock. There's nobody out. No score in the ball game. This is the bottom of the second. Here's the pitch, and there goes a foul back out of play. Coaching over there at first base is John Fitzpatrick. At third is Billy Herman for Milwaukee. Wes Covington, the batter. Adcock on first and nobody out. Wes was sidelined during a great part of the season with a knee injury. But he's in there now in this big World Series Classic. Looks out toward the mound. Ford with the stretch in the pause. Here's the pitch. The attempted bunt is missed. There was no advance as Adcock was not too far off the base at first. That was a breaking pitch which broke away from Covington. Berra came up with it for strike two. That knee has certainly caused Covington a lot of anxiety throughout this past season. Here's the pitch. Popped up. Yogi Berra is coming back for it. He seems to be under it. He's got it. So there's the foul out to Berra with Adcock on first, and the Braves catcher, Del Crandall, stepping up. Del hit .272 for this past season with 18 homers and 63 RBIs, and last series had a .211 batting average. He's 28 years old, wears number 1 in his uniform, comes up with Adcock on first and one away in the bottom half of the second inning. Crandall steps in. He is sort of a three-quarter view of the pitcher as he has that left foot pointed out along the third base line. Ford looks in for the sign. He's ready. Here's the pitch, and it's a strike call. The fastball in the outside corner. It's strike one to Crandall. Adcock is on first, and there's one away in the bottom of the second. Andy Pafko is on deck, batting in the number 8 spot for Milwaukee. No score. This is the bottom of the second. Adcock leads off first. Crandall waits. Ford eyes the runner. Here's the pitch, and it's a swing and a miss by Del Crandall for strike two. Del has been a member of 5 National League All-Star teams while with Milwaukee and has proved his versatility by being used in other spots besides catching this season. He's a long ball hitter, a great student of the game. Strike two to Crandall. Here it comes, and Del started to move for that one. Al Barlick says no, he did not go through with the swing. Yogi Berra turned around to question the plate umpire, who says it's a ball. That's strictly a matter of the umpire's judgment, and these umpires have great judgment. So, it's a ball. It's not a question of breaking one's wrist. It's a question of whether or not, in the umpire's judgment, the batter actually did go for it or did not. And in Al Barlick's judgment, Crandall held up in time. So it's ball one, strike two to Crandall. Adcock on first, there's one out. The infield for New York at double play depth. Now Ford, working slowly this afternoon, looks in to get the sign from Berra. Stretching the pause by Whitey. A look toward the runner at first, Adcock. Here's the pitch, and it's a strike called, and Crandall is out on a strikeout. That came over on the inside corner for strike three to Del Crandall. And here's Andy Pafko, great crowd pleaser, coming up now for the Braves. Andy had a .238 average with 3 homers, 23 RBIs. And Andy Pafko, who is a surprise starter in the outfield. He's been used in many games defensively or late in the game for the Braves. Is in there. Here's the pitch, and there's a swing and a miss. Strike one to Andy Pafko. Andy has had only 2 previous starts in center during this past season. But back in 1945, he started out in center field in the Cubs-Tigers World Series. He swings and misses. And the count now is strike two to Papko, who's a right-handed batter. During the course of the season, for the most part in center, manager Fred Haney of Milwaukee has alternated Bill Bruton and Felix Mantilla. Count to Papko, strike two. Adcock on first. Here's the pitch, and it comes in wide. It gets away from Berra. On the way to second base is Adcock, and he goes in at second. Berra managed to get his mitt on that one. It was a wide pitch, and we'll see how the official scorer has ruled on that. As Adcock is now in scoring position. Yogi had a reach. It was off the tip of his mitt. And it's scored as a wild pitch, enabling Adcock to move to second. So he's in scoring position right now with a ball one, strike two count. Andy Pafko, plate. This is his 4th World Series. He's been with the Cubs and the Dodgers prior to the Braves. Swings, sends a ground ball to the shortstop, Kubek. He fumbles it, makes no throw. Adcock goes to third. Pafko is on first base as a ground ball at the shortstop was fumbled by Tony Kubek. He made no throws. He tried to reach for it lying along the ground. So Pafko is on Kubek's error. Adcock is on third, and the batter is Warren Spahn, who is famed not alone for his great pitching, but also for being a great hitter. Not only a singles hitter, but a home run hitter. He's hit more homers than any other pitcher in National League history during his career. There's the pitch low for a ball. Warren this past season hit .333 with 2 homers and 15 RBIs. He comes up with men on first and third and 2 away in the bottom half of the second. Spahn bats left-handed. Count is ball one from Whitey Ford. Here's the next pitch. And a strike is called as Spahn started to move for it and checked his swing, and the ball broke over. So it's 1-1. Spahn steps out of the batter's box. Good stiff breeze blowing toward left center this afternoon. Ford looks in to get the sign from Berra. Runners on first and third, 2 outs. The pitch is over for a called strike. That was a fastball. It came in letter high. And the count now is ball one, strike two to Warren Spahn. As the Milwaukee Braves are threatening to score here in this bottom half of inning number 2. Here's the pitch, and it's strike 3 as Spahn goes down swinging on a curveball which broke away from him. So the strikeout retires to the side in the bottom half of the second inning with the total showing no runs. There was 1 hit, 1 error, and 2 left on base. At the end of 2 innings, the score, New York nothing, Milwaukee nothing. The third inning finds Whitey Ford leading off. He hit .205 this past year, left-handed batter. And the first pitch from Warren Spahn comes in low for ball one. So far for New York, there have been 4 hits. Ford, who is up there at the plate, has struck out 4 men. Here's Warren's next pitch, and it's a called strike on the inside corner. And the count now is 1-1 to Ford. Whitey originally started out in baseball as a first baseman, but rapidly was converted to becoming a pitcher and has proved to be one of the great ones in the game. Here's the 1-1 pitch. And a curve is over at the knees for a called strike. So it's now ball one, strike two. Ford steps outside the batter's box for a moment, and now he's back in. Back during his school days, Whitey played at first base. crouches slightly in the batter's box. Here's the pitch, and it's strike three called, and Ford is out. So there's one away. In the top of the third, Spahn has struck out the last two men that he's pitched to on called strikes, Kubek and Ford. One out in the third inning, and Hank Bauer, who led off the ball game with a single to left, is up now for the second time. Hank and Yogi Berra are the only Yankees who have been on all 10 Yankee clubs managed by Casey Stengel. Bauer steps in. One out in the third. Spahn winds. The pitch. And there goes a line drive to left field. Covington is there. He's got it. So there are two away, and the third is Gil McDougald comes up. That left field can be pretty tough to play with that sun coming down. Covington took that one nicely for out number two. McDougald, the batter, is 1 for 1 in the hit department. Here's the pitch, and it's a called strike. Gil singled in the first inning, one of the 4 Yankee hits so far in the ball game. There are 2 outs, nobody on base. As Spahn starts the windup, and the next pitch to McDougald is just inside for a ball. Count is 1-1 to McDougald. 2 outs, nobody on, and there's no score in this first game of the World Series. Gil, 30-year-old second baseman for the New York Yankees. Here's the windup by Spahn. The pitch is a breaking pitch, which is away for ball 2. 2 balls and a strike. The Yankees have won pennants with Gil as the regular third baseman, shortstop, and second baseman. He holds a host of records for men who have played various spots in the infield. Here comes the pitch, and it's wide, and the count now is ball 3, strike 1 to McDougald, with the feared Mickey Mantle on deck. Warren Spahn steps back off the mound. Earlier in the game, Johnson was warming up twice. He has gone back to sit down, as the Yankees had hits in both of the first 2 frames against Spahn. Count is ball 3, strike 1, as Warren starts the windup. Here's the pitch to McDougald, and it comes in high for ball 4, putting McDougald on first base and bringing up Mickey Mantle, who fouled out in the first inning. So Mantle popped up along the third baseline, and the first one was out. He's up there now with 2 outs, McDougald on first, and Mantle, who is batting right-handed against Warren Spahn, steps in. The outfield, Covington, Papko, and Aaron all deep for Mantle. There's a look toward the runner at first. Here's the pitch to Mantle, and there's a ground ball which is fouled outside of third, taken by Frankie Crosetti. To Crosetti, the World Series is no new experience. As player and coach, he has participated in many. Strike 1 to Mickey Mantle. McDougald again strays just a few feet from first. Spahn looks over. Here's the pitch. And there goes a line shot to center field. Papko comes in. He's got it. Sad retired. Mantle laid the wood to that one. Papko came in about 15 feet or so and took a solid liner to center to retire the side with no runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 left. And the score after the top half of the third inning. The New York Yankees nothing, the Milwaukee Braves nothing. Well, among the 4 hits for New York has been won by Hank Bauer. He holds the series record for hitting in consecutive games, 15 now. You know, Hank was first signed by the Yankees for only $1,150. What a buy that turned out to be. And man, this year's 1958 World Series special is a whale of a bargain, too. 79 cents. Gets you a Gillette one-piece TV razor, a dispenser of smooth-shaven Gillette blue blades, and a streamlined travel case. Whether you're a beginning shaver or a veteran, this is your chance to save money and get wonderful, refreshing shaves. A regular dollar value, all for only 79 cents. Red Schoendienst leads off, bottom of the third. Whitey Ford delivers, and it's low for a ball. Schoendienst fly to center in the first inning. He followed by Logan and by Eddie Mathews. Schoendienst stands with feet fairly close together, chokes up on the bat, looks out toward the mound. Whitey all set to work. There's the windup. Here comes the pitch, and there's a ground ball, which is taken by the third baseman, Carey. His throw to first for the out. So there's 1 away in the bottom half of the third. Play went Carey to Scullin, and the batter is Logan, who drilled a 2-bagger inside the left field line in the first inning. Johnny Logan, 1 for 1, is up there now. He has the only extra base hit so far of the series, and the right-handed batter in and waiting. Ford all set, winds, Here's the pitch, and it comes in wide for a ball. Ball 1 to Johnny Logan. Although Johnny slipped in his batting average this season, he did up his home runs and his RBIs. He takes low, and the count now is ball 2 to Logan. Ford is famed for his great control. He's had it this year and practically every year that he's been up on the big scene. 2-0, the count to Logan with Mathews on deck. There's no score. This is the bottom half of the third at Milwaukee County Stadium. Here's the windup by Ford. The pitch is a called strike as Whitey hit the outside corner just below the shoulders, and it's now ball 2, strike 1 to Logan. Johnny in there and waiting. 31-year-old right-handed batter. Here's the pitch, and it comes in low, and the count now is 3-1. 3-1 to Logan with the long ball hitting Eddie Mathews on deck. Johnny steps out of the batter's box. Now he's back in. The outfield finds Elston Howard pulled around toward left. Mantle's over in left center. Ready now for that 3-1 pitch. Here it comes. And it's a strike called in the outside corner. The count now is 3-2 to Johnny Logan. Johnny pounds the bat on the plate. Digs in there at the batter's box. Now looks out to the mound. All set for that 3-2 pitch. Here's the windup. Here it comes. And it's strike 3 swinging as Logan goes out on a strikeout. It was a fastball. Came in around the knees. And that is Ford's 5th strikeout. Coming here in the bottom of the third. 2 away. And the batter is Mathews, who also whiffed in the first inning. So Eddie Mathews, a left-handed batter, is in there now with 2 outs in the bottom of the third. Ford getting the sign from Bauer. Starts the windup. The pitch to Mathews is inside for a ball. Eddie last year had a .227 average in the World Series. 315 down that right field line for a left-handed batter with a 10-foot elevation. And then as you go out toward right a bit more, it becomes a 7-foot fence. Ball 1 to Mathews. Here's Ford's pitch. And there's a foul going off to the left and going out of play. On the count now is 1-1. Eddie is 6'1", 200-pounder. And he'll be 27 years old right after the World Series ends on October 13th. He's in there waiting now with a 1-1 count. The outfield playing him deep. Bauer is almost at the edge of the cinder path out there in right center field. Ford delivers. And there's a foul going back behind home plate. The count now is ball 1, strike 2 to Mathews. 1-2 the count to Mathews with 2 outs. Here's the pitch. And it's a swing and a miss. And Mathews is out on a strikeout to retire the side in the bottom half of the third with no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left. And the score at the end of 3 innings is New York 0, Milwaukee 0. The 4th inning finds Elston Howard leading off for New York against Spahn. The first pitch is over for a called strike 1 to Howard. Howard went out to Papko in center field in the first inning. He's batting in the number 4 spot for the New York Yankees. A right-handed batter in there and waiting. Howard, a versatile fellow who can be used in the outfield at first base or catching. Here comes the pitch, and there goes a fly ball to right field. Hank Aaron is waiting for it and has it. And Elston Howard is out number 1 in the top half of inning number 4. That brings to the plate Yogi Berra, who singled to left center in the 2nd inning. Berra steps in, 1 out in this 4th inning. Yogi has played in more games than anybody else in series history. He's playing in his 55th right now. And he needs only 2 more hits to equal a record of 58 held by Frankie Frisch. Here comes the pitch. And there goes a fly ball into short center. Back goes Schoendienst. In comes Papko, and Schoendienst has it. 2 away in the 4th inning. The batter is Scullin, who singled to left field in the 2nd. And Bill Scullin steps in now to face Warren Spahn. 2 outs in the 4th, no score in the first game of this World Series. Spahn gets the sign from Crandall. Scullin waiting. Here's the windup. And the first pitch to Bill is low for a ball. Ball 1 to Bill Scullin. Bill is only one of 6 players to hit grand slammer in World Series play. Did it back in 1956 against Brooklyn. Here's the pitch. And the pitch comes in low for a ball. 2 outs in this 4th inning. And a 2-0 count to Scullin as Spahn goes to the rosin bag. Scullin has good power to all fields. He has a big pair of wrists And sometimes he can swing late in a pitch. He can be fooled and still have enough power to soak it out there to right center, and right has quite a few opposite field homers. The 2-2 pitch. There goes a long fly ball to left field. Covington going back. It's going. It is a home run for Bill Scullin over the left field fence. And Scullin is rounding the bases with the first run of the World Series. Bill Scullin with a line shot over the left field fence, about 10 or 15 feet inside the line. And the New York Yankees lead by a 1-0 score, with Scullin's homer coming with 2 away in the 4th. And that was Scullin's second hit. The batter now is Carey, and the New Yorkers are in front. Here comes the first pitch. Carey bunts. It's going foul outside of third for strike 1. Well, it was rather a subdued crowd, as you might understand very readily, here in Milwaukee, which witnessed Scullin hitting the home run to put New York out in front. For Scullin, that was his 3rd World Series homer. Here's the pitch, and Carey takes inside. Count now is 1-1 to Andy Carey. Nobody on. New York leads 1-0. It's Bill Scullin. Becomes the first Yankee to put one over the fence. Carey fouls one off. Count now is ball 1, strike 2. Last year, Scullin only made a brief appearance in the World Series with 4 times up with no hits. But he certainly has made his presence felt here in this first game today. Here's the next pitch coming up to Carey. And it's a swing and a miss on a screwball, which broke away from him. Strike 3, and he's out. So the side retired in this 4th inning with the total showing a run, a hit, no errors, and nobody left. And the score after the top half of the 4th, New York 1, Milwaukee nothing. In the bottom half of the 4th, the Braves home run threat. Hank Aaron leads off, and you can hear the Milwaukee fans come to life. They trail 1-0. And so far, it's been 1 run and 5 hits and an error for New York. And for Milwaukee, no runs, 2 hits, and no errors. Aaron struck out in the 1st inning. Here's the windup, and Ford's pitch swung on and grounded foul off to the left. So it's now strike 1 to Hammer and Hank Aaron. Barrow rubs up a new ball, flips it out to the mound. And we're all set to go. Aaron back in with a 1-strike count. Here's the pitch, and it's high. 1-1. Both clubs hitting the ball up into the air this afternoon. The Braves infielders have not handled any ground as yet. The Yankee infielders only 2. There was an error on one, and the other was fielded cleanly. There's a pitch coming in wide. On the count now to Hank Aaron is 2 balls, strike 1. Aaron leading off in the bottom half of the 4th. Be followed by Adcock and Covington. 3 men who can hit that long ball for Milwaukee. Ford looks in for the sign. Southpaw winds. The pitch comes in low, and the count now is 3-1. Well, Whitey's gone to a 3-ball count on other batters, but up to this point has not walked anybody. So let's see what happens now with a 3-1 count to Aaron. He'll have to lay it in there, and the big man is at the plate. Here's the 3-1 pitch. And it's ball 4. He missed with a curveball. Aaron draws a walk to lead off the bottom half of the 4th inning. And the crowd comes to life here as Big Joe Adcock comes up with Aaron on first base. Adcock is one of the 2 Milwaukee hits. He signaled a low liner to right field in the 2nd inning. And Joe later moved as far as 3rd, where he was stranded when the 2nd inning came to an end. So Adcock now steps in with Aaron on first base and nobody out. The Braves trail by a 1-0 score to the New York Yankees in this 4th inning of the World Series. Aaron takes a lead off first base. The stretch and the pause by Ford. And they throw to first base, and Aaron gets back to the bag. Big Joe Adcock stands 6'4", weighs 220 pounds. He's a long ball hitter. He's in there waiting with a runner on, nobody out. Another throw to first base, and again, Aaron is back. Scullin started to move in just a few feet off the base, and he had to get back to the bag once again. The outfield finds Howard playing a very deep left center field for Adcock. The pitch comes in and gets away from Yogi Berra. Aaron goes to second, makes a turn there. Berra comes back, picks up the ball. Looked like Yogi didn't know that he had missed that one. It's charged as a fastball. He seemed to hesitate a moment after the ball got through him, as if he weren't quite sure whether he had stopped the ball or whether it had trickled by. And Aaron is in at second base. So that makes it ball one to Adcock. Aaron in scoring position, nobody out. Ford all set. Looks back to the runner. Here it comes, and there's a hopper going to the third baseman, Carey. He keeps the runner at second, throws to first in time for the out. Adcock out at first base as Aaron held second. Play went from Carey to Scullin. And the batter is Wes Covington, who fouled out in the second. And again, Berra goes out to speak to Whitey Ford. They've been having quite a few conferences, especially during this inning, as the Yankees defensively see that there's a big man out there at second who could tie up the ball game if he scores. Covington, feared long ball hitter, is in and waiting. Left-handed batter. Ford looks in to get the sign now. Left-hander set, the stretch from the pause. Here's the pitch. And there's a hard ground ball going to McDougal. He's up with it. They throw to Scullin, retires Covington. And on the play, Aaron moves to third. So the Milwaukee Braves, for the second time this afternoon, have a man at third with two away. And Del Crandall at the plate. Del struck out in the second. We're in the bottom half of the fourth. And the Yankees lead by a 1-0 score and a home run by Bill Skoward in the top of this inning. Crandall in and waiting. Aaron on third, 2 outs. Ford all set to work. Aaron now leads off third. Here's the windup and the pitch. And there goes a line drive to left field for a base hit. Aaron scores. Crandall is on first base, and the Braves tie the ball game at 1-1. Del Crandall with a solid drive into left field drives in the tying run as Aaron scores, and the Milwaukee Brave fans really let out with a roar that time. Here's Andy Pafko, the man on first, and there goes a shot to center field for a hit. Crandall goes into second, makes the turn, and now stays at second base as Mickey Mantle fields the ball and throws into the cutoff man, Tony Kubek. Andy Pafko with a single to center, moving Del Crandall to second, and the Braves with men on first and second and 2 away in a tie ball game as the pitcher Warren Spahn comes up. Warren struck out in the second. Yogi Berra goes out to speak to Whitey Ford. Andy Carey is also over at the mound. In this inning, Hank Aaron walked, moved to second in a fastball, to third on a ground out with 2 away. Crandall singled Aaron over, and now Crandall's at second on Papko's single to center field. So here's Warren Spahn with men on first and second, 2 away, and a 1-1 ball game in the bottom half of the fourth inning. Spahn steps in, bats left-handed. Ford all set to go. The outfield is fairly deep for Spahn. Stretch in the pause, the pitch, and there goes a base hit to left center field. Crandall rounding third, field strong. On the way to third is Papko. Howard finally picks the ball up, throws into second base. Warren Spahn has put the Braves in front. Listen to this crowd. Warren Spahn placed one in the left center. A little indecision there for a moment as to who would pick it up as the hit rolled along. Mantle or Howard. Finally, Elston Howard picked it up and threw into second base. But Crandall came in to score on the base hit, the third in a row. Pafko moved to third. Spahn is on first, and the batter is Shane Deese. Ditmar starts warming up for New York. Shane Deese, the batter. Milwaukee leads 2-1 in the bottom half of the fourth inning. Schoendienst is flied out and he's grounded out. Here comes the pitch, and it's wide for a ball. Well, a walk seemed to open up the gates for the Braves, and then after two were away, successive singles by the number 7, 8, and 9 men, Crandall, Pafko, and Spahn. Men are on first and third with two outs. Papko at third, Spahn at first. Schoendienst the batter. Swings and misses. The count now is 1-1. Hear the oohs and ahs on each pitch coming up here in Milwaukee, where a very heated crowd is witnessing the Braves and the New York Yankees in the first game of this classic. All set to go. 1-1 to Schoendienst. Here's the pitch. And it's a swing and a miss for strike two. Ball one, strike two to Schoendienst. Batting the leadoff spot for Milwaukee. Red steps out of the batter's box now with the ball one, strike two count. And on third is Papko. On first is Spahn. It's 2-1 with the Braves leading. Ford looks in to get the sign now from Barrow. Runners edge off at third and first. The stretch and the pause. The pitch comes in wide. And the count now is 2-2 to Schoendienst. Red steps back in with a 2-2 count. The outfield is playing him just slightly around toward left. All set to go. Ford ready. Here it comes. It's strike three swinging as Schoendienst goes out in a strikeout to retire the side. So in the bottom half of the fourth inning, for the Milwaukee Braves, there were 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors, and 2 left. And the score at the end of 4 innings is Milwaukee 2, New York 1. In the fifth inning, it's Tony Kubek, Whitey Ford, and then the top of the batting order for the New York Yankees as Warren Spahn now works behind a 2-1 lead. And it was Spahn's hit, which was the hit that put the Milwaukee Braves out in front. Crandall and Spahn getting the RBIs in the bottom half of the fourth inning. Kubek struck out in the second. He comes up now for the second time to face Spahn. So far, there have been 5 hits for each side in the ball game. And now Kubek steps in. He's the number 8 batter for the New York Yankees. Spahn working behind a 2-1 margin, all set to deliver. Here comes the pitch. And there goes a foul back out of play. So it's strike one to Tony Kubek. Well, it's a terrific pitching duel going on, with Warren Spahn's bat providing the edge between these two men at this point. Strike one to Kubek, left-handed batter, in and waiting. Here's the next pitch, and it's a breaking pitch which is low for a ball. 1-1. Spahn smooths out the dirt around the pitching rubber. Now he's ready. There's the side from Crandall. 1-1 the count to Kubek. Here's the windup. And the next pitch on the way. Swung on. There's a high fly ball going to short left. Covington comes in, and he's got it. So there's one out in the top of the fifth inning. And the pitcher, Whitey Ford, is coming up. Whitey looked at a called strike 3 in the third. Whitey, so far this afternoon, is trailing by a 2-1 score, but Whitey already has 7 strikeouts. And that's already halfway to the series record. Carl Erskine of the Dodgers had 14 back on October 2nd of 53 against the Yankees. Whitey Ford steps in, and the pitch is a called strike. 1 out, we're in the fifth inning, and the score is Milwaukee 2 and the New York Yankees 1. Here's the windup by Spahn. The next pitch to Ford is a ball. It came in a bit too high, and the count now is 1-1. 1-1 to Ford. Yankees' run came on Scullin's homer in the fourth inning. Here's the windup by Warren. He delivers, and the pitch comes in below the knees for ball 2, strike 1 to Ford. 1 out in the fifth. And a capacity crowd jammed in here, hanging on to every thrill of this classic. Ball 2, strike 1. Spahn to the windup. He delivers, and it's a ball. It came in high, 3-1. That was a fastball. It thumped into Crandall's mitt for a 3-1 count to Whitey Ford. Whitey in and waiting. He bats left-handed. He's choked up on the bat. Spahn looks in to get the sign now from Crandall. Here comes the pitch, and it's a strike call. It's now 3-2. The Braves have already equaled their 1957 run total for the series against Ford. They had 2 runs in 2 games in 57. Ready for that 3-2 pitch to Ford. Here it comes. Ball 4 comes in just a bit low. So Ford draws a walk, putting a man on first with 1 out. And that brings up the veteran Hank Bauer, who is 1 for 2. He's hit 2 balls well today. He singled to left and he lined out to left. Ford on first. Kubek, the first out of the inning, and a fly out to Covington. And Bauer, right-handed batter, steps in. Hank, 36 years old. He's still going strong. Known for his aggressiveness, continual hustle. He's in there now with Ford on first and 1 out. Whitey has the jacket on at first base. Stretching the paws by Spahn. Here's the pitch, and it comes in low for a ball to Bauer. On deck is Gil McDougall. Thus far in the ballgame, the Yankees have 4 singles and a homer, and the homer provided the score. 2-1, Milwaukee leads with a comeback 2 runs in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Ball 1 to Bauer. A quick throw to first base, and Ford gets back to the bag. 1 out, 1 on. Logan and Schoendienst to double play depth for Milwaukee. Shadows start to lengthen just a bit over the right side of the infield. In left, Covington playing a deep left field for Bauer. Hank waiting. All set for the pitch. Here it comes. And it comes in low for ball 2. And Spahn seems just for the last few pitches to have lost that great touch for the moment. Crowd here's just a bit restive as Warren steps back off the mound for the moment. Now the great southpaw is ready. Ford on first base takes a very slim lead. Ready for the ball 2 pitch to Bauer. Here it comes. And there goes a long fly ball to deep left field. Covington's going far back. It's going. It is a home run. Hank Bauer put one in the seats beyond the left field fence for a home run, scoring Whitey Ford, and the Yankees retake the lead. Well, there was no doubt about that one. That was really conked right on the nose. And the Yankees, using their big weapon, the home run ball, are back in front. A 2-run homer by Hank Bauer. And New York now leads 3-2 as Gil McDougall comes up. Gil McDougall up there. And the pitch is high for a ball. Well, that was a 400-footer by Hank Bauer, which went sailing far over the fence out there and left into the seats beyond, and well up into the seats. Ball 1 to McDougall, who was singled and walked. Johnson again warming up for the Braves. The Yankees on 2 homers have scored their 3 runs. They lead 3-2. The pitch, it comes in high to McDougall, and it's ball 2. Well, this has been a seesaw game. New York in the top of the 4th scored a run. The Braves snapped back with 2 in the bottom of the 4th. And the Yankees have forged out in front in the 5th and lead 3-2. McDougall the batter. The base is empty. There's 1 out. Here's the windup by Spahn. Here comes the pitch. And it comes over for a called strike. So it's ball 2, strike 1 to Gil McDougall. Gil steps back in. Now we're all set. Count is 2 balls, strike 1 to McDougall. The windup by Spahn. Here's the pitch. And it's a strike called, and the count now is 2-2. That homer for Bauer was his 4th series homer. 2-2 to McDougall. And on deck, Mickey Mantle. Here's the windup and the 2-2 pitch to Gil. There's a foul which dribbles off to the on-deck circle, and Mantle has it. 2-2 to McDougall. New York has 6 hits, and the Braves have 5 in the ball game. The Yankees are ahead on the home run ball. Ready for the 2-2 pitch. Spahn delivers, and it's in the dirt, taken on the hop by Crandall, as Warren put just a bit too much brake on that one. So the count now is 3-2. Dangerous Mickey Mantle on deck here in this top of the 5th inning before a capacity jam-packed crowd. Ready for that 3-2 pitch. It's on the way, and it's fouled in the dirt behind home plate, and the count holds at 3-2 to McDougall. Gil can hit to all fields. He sort of cradles the bat as he waits for the pitch. Gill got off to a tremendous start this year for New York. He was up there atop the league leaders, and then slumped during the second part of the season. But still is a feared man in the clutch. Here's a 3-2 pitch, and there's a ground ball going out to Logan at short. He's up with it. They throw to Adcock for the out, and Adcock had a reach on the plate side to haul that one in. They're 2 away, and up steps Mickey Mantle, who was 0 for 2, with 2 outs and 2 runs across in the top of the 5th, and the score, the Yankees 3 and the Milwaukee Braves 2. Now Mantle, 0 for 2, steps in. Outfield is far back. A windup by Spahn. Here's the pitch, and it's inside for a ball. You may have noted that in the previous 2 appearances that Spahn has been keeping the ball tight on Mickey Mantle. Ball 1 to Mantle. Spahn gets the sign from Crandall. Here's the windup. Here's the pitch, and there's a foul off to the Yankee dugout. That was a curveball also in close to Mantle. Count now is 1-1 to Mantle. 2 outs in this 5th inning. Spahn ready with a new ball. Looks in to get the sign from Crandall. Left-hander ready. Starts the windup. Here's the 1-1 pitch. High for ball 2. 2 balls and a strike to Mickey. Well, it's been a thrilling first game so far, and of course there are many innings still to go. 2 balls, strike 1 to Mantle. Here's the windup. And the next pitch on the way is low for ball 3. 3-1. Mickey played in 6 games of the series last season, but he was hobbled by injuries and didn't perform up to par. But he came into this one in top-notch condition, raring to go. Ball 3, strike 1 to Mantle. Now Spahn looks in to get the sign. This is a tough pitch with a feared batter like Mantle, 3-1. And now with a little wave of dirt stirred up around home plate, Mantle steps out. Now he's back in. Here's a 3-1 pitch. Ball 4, he draws a walk. So that brings up Elston Howard. And Spahn has issued 2 walks here in this inning. One hurt him as Whitey Ford, the pitcher, was on base with a walk, and Bauer then came up and hit the homer. If there's something that one pitcher does not like to do, it's walk an opposing pitcher. Although in the case of Ford pitching to Spahn, Warren came through with a base hit. Here's Elston Howard. And the first pitch almost hits him. He has to jump back out of the way. It came in low around the ankles for ball 1. Howard, batting cleanup for the Yankees, is flied out twice. Elston steps back in. Ball 1 the count. Mantle on first. 2 outs. Stretch in the pause by Spahn. A look toward the runner. The pitch. A swing and a miss by Elston Howard. And the count now. Ball 1, strike 1 to the Yankees' number 4 hitter. Well, manager Casey Stengel had quite a problem this year. It was a happy problem with both Howard and Berra available for catching, and of course that put one in the outfield. The next pitch comes in wide for a ball. 2 balls, strike 1. And Warren Spahn comes in to discuss that one with Al Barlick. He thought he may have had the corner that time, and now goes back, picks up the rosin bag, and steps back off the mound. Both these pitches depend on pinpoint control, play in the corners. Ball 2, strike 1. Howard waiting. Mantle on first. The outfield playing deep and pulled around toward left. A look toward the runner. And a throw to first base, and Mantle gets back. Ball 2, strike 1. Howard now sets himself in the batter's box. And again, Spahn throws to first base, but Mantle not straight off the bag. Ralph Howe coaching over there. At first, Frankie Crissetti at third. Now Howard is back in and waiting with the 2-1 count. A look toward the runner. Spahn set. Here's the pitch. And there's a ground ball, which is taken by Mathews. A throw to second base for the out. Mathews to Schoendienst. Was a good play by Mathews. Mantle was forced to retire the side. In this top of the 5th inning for the New York Yankees, 2 runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left. The score after the top half of the 5th, Yankees 3, Milwaukee 2. Ask for Gillette Foamy, either regular type or with cool, refreshing menthol added. A 3-month supply costs 79 cents. And now here's one of the nation's top sports announcers, the voice of the Milwaukee Braves, Earl Gillespie.
Thank you, Bob Wolf, and we're all set to go in the last half of the fifth inning. Yankees lead 3-2. Logan leading off, and John takes the ball. It's blown inside, bouncing away from Yogi Berra, rolling halfway up the net behind home plate, and it's ball one and no strikes. Yankee power has given the New York Ball Club a 3-2 lead over the Milwaukee Braves. As home runs have spelled the difference, Scoured in the fourth, none on. Hank Bauer in the fifth with one man on base. Ball one, no strikes on Logan, who doubled on the left field line in the first inning, takes a curve strike on the inside corner across the letters, and it's even up at ball one and strike one. Logan was a strikeout victim in the third, and Whitey Ford, so far in 4 innings, has struck out 7 Braves hitters. Ball one and a strike one count. The pitch is cut on as a ground ball to the shortstop, Tony Kubek. Nice hop over to first base. He is out, and that is one away. Logan tossed out by Milwaukee-born Tony Kubek, who is due to see some Army service immediately following the World Series. Here's third baseman Eddie Mathews. And Ford has gotten Eddie twice on curveballs. Struck him out in the first, and Eddie went down swinging in the third. 1 out, nobody on base, last half of the fifth inning. Yankees on top 3-2, and Mathews swings and fouls it off to the right. Strike one. New York has 3 runs on 6 hits. The Yankees have committed 1 error. Milwaukee 2 runs, 5 hits, and no errors. Whitey Ford and Warren Spahn have gone the distance so far, although the Milwaukee Braves bullpen has been active, as Ernie Johnson, veteran right-hander, has been up 3 times in the ball game, while Art Ditmar started loosening up for the Yankees in the last half of the fourth inning, but Ford survived a shaky fourth, giving up 2 runs on a walk and 3 successive singles. Strike one the count on Mathews. The Yankee outfield is playing Mathews deep and shaded towards right field. The pitch is high inside, and that's ball one and strike one. Third baseman Andy Carey is playing on the edge of the infield grass. McDougald is deep at second base, Scullin deep at first, and the shortstop Tony Kubek is shading Mathews over towards the bag at second base. Ball one, strike one count. 1 out, nobody on base. The left-hander wheels. The pitch is low inside. Ball 2. Ball 2, strike one. Billy Herman, coaching at third base, is in his 9th World Series. Formerly a coach of the old Brooklyn Dodgers. 2-1 pitch. Here is ball 3. It's too low. 3-1. 1 out, nobody on base. Waiting on deck is Henry Aaron. Eddie Mathews, who in the last couple of years has developed into one of the outstanding defensive third basemen in the National League. 3-1 pitch, and there is a ball 4. So the tying run moves down the first base in the person of Eddie Mathews, as the great southpaw of the Yankee pitching staff, Whitey Ford, comes up with his second walk. Mathews reaching first base for the first time this afternoon. One of the fastest men on the Milwaukee Ball Club. Manager Fred Haney now has some speed on first base with the right fielder Henry Aaron. Moving into the batter's box, Aaron has struck out, went down swinging in the first inning, and he walked in the fourth. Came around to score one of Milwaukee's 2 runs. Right-handed batter with great wrist action. The pitch is swung on a ground ball over the head of the pitcher, picked up with the second baseman, out at second base, over to first, not in time. A burst of speed carried Aaron past Bill Scullin at first base. Gil McDougald, to his right on the high chopper, stepped on second base with a play on Eddie Mathews. So that is a fielder's choice, with Mathews forced at second base to Gil McDougald. Gil throw to first base, not in time, so the tying run is still on first base. 2 outs in the last half of the fifth inning, and here is first baseman Joe Adcock. The big guy from Coushatta, Louisiana, single to right field on the first pitch in the second. Thrown out by third baseman Carey in the fourth. 1 for 2, and he swings. There's a high fly ball short left. Digging hard is Elston Howard, calling for the ball now. Having a little trouble, makes the catch, and that retires the side. So in the last half of the fifth inning, Milwaukee is easy for Whitey Ford. No runs, no hits, no errors. 1 man was left on base, and the score at the end of 5 innings, New York 3 and Milwaukee 2.
This is WGY, WGFM, Schenectady.
Barra single to left field in the second. Was thrown out of third base by Wes Covington on a base hit by Bill Scullin. Then in the fourth inning, Berra popped out to Schoendienst in short right center field. So Berra has 1 hit and 2 times at bat. He swings, hits a fly ball to left center field. Papko digging hard out to his right, coming over, dives, and he cannot make the play as Berra heads for second base. And Yogi pulls up with a double at second. Diving try by Andy Pafko in left center field. And that'll be a 2-base hit for Berra. Hit number 7 off Warren Spahn. A great try by the veteran outfielder, Andy Pafko. Sprawling along the grass in left center field. Cannot come up with a play. And the Yankees are threatening to score again as they lead here at Milwaukee County Stadium, 3-2. First baseman Bill Scullin, who has given Spahn nothing but trouble this afternoon with a single to left and a home run in the fourth inning. Strong right-handed batter, and the first pitch. Scullin backs away. A ball is low and inside. Ball 1 and no strikes. Milwaukee's outfield is deep towards left. Respecting this fellow who started a college career at Purdue University. Boy from Chicago, Illinois. It's the pitch. Here's a swing and a ground ball to the third baseman, Mathews. This is a fair ball. A throw to first. He is out. Ball is on the line down the third base side as Scullin is tossed out by Eddie Mathews. And on the play, Bauer was forced to hold second base. So Yogi is still in scoring position. 1 man is out. Yankees 3, Milwaukee 2. New York batting in the 6th. And the batter is third baseman Andy Terry. Terry fly to center field in the 2nd. Struck out in the 4th. Hitless in 2 times at bat. The outfield is shading him towards left field. So is the infield. Warren Spahn, glancing back over the left shoulder, kicks and delivers. The pitch swung on a ground ball to Eddie Mathews left. Nice stab. Over to first base. He is out on a good play by Mathews at third base. Eddie with those great reflexes at third, coming up with a hard hit ball to his left. And Berra again must stay on second base. 2 men are out. Batter is shortstop Tony Kubek. Tony called out on strikes in the 2nd. Fly to left field in the 5th. Runner on second base, Berra. Here's a swing and a ground ball to Joe Adcock's right. He's over, picks it up, tossing the Spahn, and it's in time in a close race to retire the side. No runs and 1 hit. No errors. 1 man was left on base. And the score remains New York 3 and Milwaukee 2. Well, we're honored this afternoon with the manager of a great National League team, the San Francisco Giants. We're speaking of Bill Rigney. Bill, we'd like to know right now your personal thoughts of this 1958 World Series.
Well, I like the Braves. I think they'll win it whether it goes 6, 8, or 10 games. And I think that their pitching will be a little bit better than the New York pitching. And I think they've got enough power they can score some runs. And I just think that the Braves ought to win it again.
Well, Bill, what are your plans after the series?
Well, I hope to do a little fishing, Earl.
Well, I've got something here you'd like to take along because it's the new Gillette TV razor.
Well, thank you very much, Earl. And extra Gillette comes in mighty handy for trips.
Fans, now's the time to get your extra Gillette because as a World Series special, you get a Gillette one-piece TV razor, a dispenser of blue blades, and a handy travel case for just 79 cents. What a bargain this is. So pick up yours at a nearby store while the supply lasts. And thanks for sharing the booth with me during this inning, manager Bill Rigney of the San Francisco Giants. We move on to the last half of the 6th inning. Yankees leading 3-2. New York has had hit Milwaukee so far, 7-5. Whitey Ford has had only 1 real tough inning, the last half of the 4th, when he gave up a walk to the leadoff man, Henry Aaron. Then after 2 outs, along with a pass ball, Aaron on third base, consecutive singles by Crandall, Papko, and Warren Spahn netted 2 runs. Braves at that time held a 2-1 lead. But a booming drive by Bauer with a man on base in the 5th gave New York its 3-2 lead. So we go to the last half of the 6th inning, and Wes Covington leads off for the Braves. He has fouled out to Yogi Berra and has been tossed out for the second baseman, Gil McDougall. Wes Covington, who at this moment is wearing a brace on the left knee, which was injured a long time ago, last spring against the Los Angeles Dodgers in an exhibition ball game. Mantle with that great speed in center field is not too much over towards right center. Here's a drive to deep left field. Over there, though, is Elston Howard. He makes the catch. And that is one away as Covington lines out to Howard around towards left center field. And Howard that time must have read the book on Wes Covington. He was on the spot. 1 man is out. Nobody on base. Here is catcher Del Crandall. Dell, who enjoyed a banner season at the plate this year, belting 18 home runs, drove in 63 runs for the Braves. Called out on strikes on a curveball in the second. Single to left field on Whitey Ford's first pitch to him to drive in the Braves' first run in the fourth. He swings and lines one foul down the left field line, and it's strike one. Last half of the sixth inning. Capacity crowd at Milwaukee County Stadium. Second game of the series to be played here at Milwaukee. Friday, a travel day. The next three games at Yankee Stadium, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And if games number 6 and 7 are necessary, Wednesday and Thursday back at Milwaukee. Here's a roller down the first base line. It is a fair ball. Berra over to first base. He is out. Yogi Berra watching that ball, which was twisting. A lot of English on it towards the first base foul line, but he grabbed it about a foot fair. Threw hard to Bill Scullin to get Del Crandall by a couple of steps. So that is two-away, and it brings up center fielder Andy Pafko. Andy Pafko, who was safe on an error by Kubek, the only error so far in this first game of the series, in the second, and Andy single to center field in the fourth. 37-year-old veteran outfielder who now resides in Chicago, Illinois, takes a ball that's outside, ball one and no strikes. Andy is actually from Boyceville, Wisconsin. The left-hander Ford delivers, and here's a swing and a drive back in the left field. Going back is Elston Howard. He might have the room. He does. He makes the catch. Papko flies near the wall to Howard in left to retire the side. So Milwaukee is 3 up and 3 down. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left on base. And at the end of the sixth inning, the score is New York 3, Milwaukee 2. Whitey Ford leads off for the New York Yankees in the top half of the seventh. And the Yankee fans here at County Stadium in Milwaukee, we're standing for that old seventh-inning stretch. Spahn kicks, delivers. The pitch is a strike on the inside corner, belt high. A walk to Whitey Ford in the fifth inning got Spahn in a jam as Bauer followed with a 2-run home run, which has given the Yankees their 3-2 edge. Ford was called out on strikes in the third. He's a left-handed batter who swings. It's a ground ball to the shortstop. Logan scoops it up. His throw to first base, a bad throw, and Ford is tagged out as Adcock was forced to shift off the bag to the home plate side. Tagged Whitey Ford, and that is one away. Still has a big reach down there at first base. Standing 6'4", and he went up for the ball and moved towards home about 3 feet off first base and was forced to tag Ford as he went by. So there is one out, and here is right fielder Hank Bauer, who has single to left, line to left, and belted a 2-run home run. Takes a strike on the outside corner knee high. So Bauer, as Bob Wolf mentioned, extends his hitting streak in World Series play to 15 consecutive ball games. And it stands as a record. One man is out, nobody on base, first half of the seventh inning. The outfield deep to the left for this fellow. The pitch is swung on. Here's a high infield fly. Shortstop Johnny Logan looking up into the sunshine, makes the catch, and that is 2 away. From now on in, these left fielders might find a little trouble with low-line drives as the sun here at Milwaukee County Stadium, as it moves westward, sinks down below the right field grandstand and becomes, the left field position becomes a very dangerous sun field. 2 men are out and nobody on base. The batter is second baseman Gil McDougald, who swings on the first pitch and fouls one into the crowd, and there is a World Series baseball souvenir for somebody. Gil McDougald lined the base hit off Mathews' glove in the first inning, walked in the third, and was thrown out by Logan in the fifth. Gil officially 1 for 2. Two outs, nobody on base. The pitch is fouled off as McDougald tried to bunt for a base hit, and it's strike 2. Gil McDougald catching Eddie Mathews deep at third base. 1-1 foul. Milwaukee's outfield is playing McDougald fairly deep around towards left. Aaron has shortened up a few steps in right field. Strike 2 count on McDougald, who is appearing in his 7th World Series. Pitches high and outside, ball 1 and strike 2. Most of these New York Yankees have had a lot of World Series experience. The pitch is a swing and a miss. He struck him out to retire the side. And that for Warren Spahn is strikeout number 4. 3 up, 3 down for the Yankees for the first time in the ball game. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left. And the score is New York 3, Milwaukee 2. The Braves. Well, the Braves moved back into that first base dugout. They're greeted there by their fiery little manager, Fred Haney, who always is talking it up. You know, Fred lays it right on the line, whatever the subject. Here's a sample. Haney speaking on a specially recorded message.
You bet I shave with a Gillette blade and a Gillette razor. It's the only way to get a decent shave.
While they last, your favorite store is displaying the Gillette TV razor set, 79 cents. Last half of the 7th inning. Braves trailing by a run as the Yankees lead 3-2, and it's Warren Spahn leading off. Spahn, Schoendienst, and Logan, the first 3 men to face southpaw Whitey Ford. Spahn single to drive in a run in the 4th inning, takes a strike on the outside corner. No ball, 1 strike count. Spahn struck out in the 2nd, and then got his base hit to left center field, scoring Crandall. And a ball is too low. It's ball 1 and strike 1. Ball 1 and strike 1. We're in the last half of the 7th inning with Milwaukee trailing 3-2. The Yankees have out hit the Braves 7-5. The pitch is a strike that's called on the inside corner at the letters. 1-2 the count. Now Whitey Ford is getting to that part of the ball game where I imagine manager Casey Stengel is watching him very, very closely, because Ford has not pitched a completed ball game since August the 8th. Here's a swing and a drive to left center field. Mickey Mantle on the run, going over, has it, and makes the catch. That's 1 away in the last half of the 7th inning, and here is today's paid attendance. A very wonderful crowd, 46,367. 46,367. 1 out, nobody on base. The leadoff man, second baseman Red Schoendienst, who flied to Mickey Mantle in left center field in the 1st inning, thrown out by Andy Carey in the 3rd, and struck out in the 4th, leaving a couple of men on base. Red Schoendienst joined the Braves last year in a trade with the then New York Giants in June of 1957. Swings, hits a ground ball to the second baseman. Over is Gil McDougall, throws to first base. He is out, and that's 2 away. Schoendienst going after the first pitch, tossed out by Gil McDougall. And it brings up shortstop Johnny Logan. Braves followers quite concerned about John in this 1958 Fall Classic, as he finished with a batting average of .226, where he normally is around the .275, .280 mark. But he is a great clutch ball player who they figure will come through with flying colors against the Yankees. Here's a ground ball, foul, down the third base line, and it's strike 1. Logan came up with Milwaukee's first base hit, a line double down the left field line in the 1st inning, struck out in the 3rd, and was thrown out by Kubek in the 5th. 2 outs. Last half of the 7th. Nobody on base for the Braves, who trail the New York Yankees 3-2. Ford's 0-1 pitch is in the dirt. Scooped up nicely by Yogi Berra, and it's ball 1 and strike 1. Tomorrow, it'll be a battle of right-handers. Lou Burdett, 20-10 against Bob Turley, 21-7. Ball 1, strike 1 count on the right-handed batting shortstop Johnny Logan. The pitch, a curve is high, ball 2. Ball 2 and strike 1. Casey Stengel has signaled to his bullpen only once today. That was back in the 4th inning when right-hander Art Ditmar began loosening up. But Ford got himself out of a jam by striking out Schoendienst with runners on 1st and 3rd base. Ball 2 and strike 1 on Logan, and Johnny takes a strike on the outside corner, a very fine, slow-breaking curveball at the knees, and it's ball 2 and strike 2. A right-hander, Humberto Robinson from Panama, is loosening up in the right center field bullpen for the Braves. Here is the 2-2 pitch. A swing and a miss. He struck him out to retire the side, and that for Whitey Ford is strikeout number 8. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left on base. And at the end of the seventh inning, the score is New York 3, Milwaukee 2.
Do you really want a decent shave? Do you really want a decent shave? Then shave Gillette, shave Gillette, with the blade and the razor by Gillette, shave Gillette.
WGY, WGFM, Schenectady.
Yankees in the first half of the eighth inning. And the seventh inning totals: New York 3 runs, 7 hits, 1 error. Milwaukee 2 runs, 5 hits, and no errors. Mickey Mantle has fouled out to the catcher, lined a hard shot to Papko in center field in the third, and walked in the fifth. A switch hitter, batting right-handed against the left-hander Warren Spahn. Here is Spahn's first pitch, and Mickey swings, foul-tips that ball off Del Crandall, and that marks the second time today that Del has taken a hard shot off a hitter's bat. Strike one count. The Braves outfield plays Mickey deep, of course, with that great power he has, and around to the extreme left. Schoendienst, lined up with right center field at second base, is on the edge of the outfield grass. Mathews is fairly close to the third base foul line. Strike one count on Mantle. Here's a swing and a drive to deep center field. Going back is Andy Pafko. He's waiting. He makes the catch, and that's the second time today that Mickey Mantle has hit one on the nose, but at Papko in center field. Good shot by Mickey Mantle. Brings up the left fielder, Elston Howard. Howard sent Papko racing to the wall in deep left center field in the first inning for his long drive. Flied to Aaron in right field in the fourth inning and was safe on a fielder's choice in the fifth. A right-handed batter, and Spahn's first pitch is in there for a call, strike one. One strike down. Yankees batting in the eighth. The 0-1 pitch is going outside, and Howard had a notion that time. Held up on a swing, and Crandall was talking to umpire Al Barlick. 0-1 and strike one on Elston Howard. He hit one of the most dramatic home runs of the 1957 World Series off the fellow he's facing right now, Warren Spahn. 3-run home run in the ninth inning to give the Yankees a 4-4 tie at the time. Here's a drive to right field. Aaron, moving to his right there, makes the catch, and it's 2 outs. So Howard flies to Aaron and right. 2 men are out. Here is catcher Yogi Berra, a left-handed batter who has 2 hits in 3 trips. He singled the left center field in the second, topped out to Schoendienst in right center field in the fourth inning, and doubled to left center field in the sixth inning. 2 up, 2 down in the eighth inning. The pitch to Berra is swung on a high chopper to the second baseman's right. Schoendienst over. Throws to first. He is out, of the Yankees for the second straight inning are 3 up and 3 down. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left on base. And the score remains New York 3 and Milwaukee 2. Well, it's always interesting watching these Yankees take the field, especially that guy at second base, Gil McDougall, because the word around the major leagues is he's a great team ball player and also a wonderful family man. You know, Gil's got 5 kids, 3 of them boys. And there'll be a real scramble for razors at his house in a few years. Better tell him to lay in a supply of Gillette's World Series Special. We go to the last half of the eighth inning. Yankees with that 3-2 lead. In what has been a great ball game here, the opener of the 1958 World Series. Eddie Mathews leads off. He'll be followed by Henry Aaron and Joe Adcock. So Whitey Ford here in the last half of the eighth must look at the Milwaukee Braves' power. Mathews has struck out twice, and he has walked. Strong left-handed swinger, and Ford's first pitch is low and outside. That's ball 1. Eddie, a good bunter with good speed. Looked like he was going to try to dump one down the third base line, and Terry broke in quickly. Curveball breaking away from a southpaw hitter. Ball 1 and no strikes. Whitey Ford is ready, delivers high inside, ball 2. Whitey Ford, who has appeared in 6 World Series. This is his 6th. His record 5 World Series victories, 3 defeats. Against the Braves last year, he won 1 and he lost 1. He beat Spahn in the opener last year, 3-1 at Yankee Stadium. 2-0 pitch is a strike on the outside corner. Good fastball. That baby was moving in there, and it's ball 2 and strike 1. Aaron on deck. Yankees lead 3-2, last half of the 8th. 2-1 pitch. Too low, and it's ball 3 now, and Ford is behind at ball 3 and strike 1. And the fastballing right-hander from Cazenovia, Wisconsin, Rhino Durham, is loosening up for Casey Stengel in the bullpen in deep right center field. Ball 3 and a strike 1 count. Ford, 3-1 pitch. Quick is called down the alley across the days, and it's 3-2. The spectacled right-hander, a guy with a blazing fastball, Doran, getting ready just in case, as time is running out here in the first game of the series. Last half of the 8th. 3-2 ball game. Braves trail by 1. Eddie Mathews looking for his first base hit. Walked in the 5th inning. He's gone the limit now with Whitey Ford, ball 3 and strike 2. Here's the big pitch, and it's ball 4. There goes the tying run at first base with nobody out, as Whitey Ford gives up his 3rd walk. Eddie Mathews on first base. The batter is right fielder Henry Aaron. Henry struck out in the 1st inning, walked in the 4th, scored a run, and was safe on a fielder's choice in the 5th. There is no telling what manager Fred Haney will do now with Henry Aaron up there with a good power hitter, of course. Henry hit 30 home runs this year, but he is in front of Joe Adcock with that tying run at first base. Now Aaron steps out of the batter's box, looks down to the third base coach, Billy Herman. Outfield, deep to the left. Bauer extremely deep in right field. Here is a throw to first base. Mathews gets back in the bag. Whitey Ford working with Mathews on first. That was Mathews' 2nd walk of the ball game. The pitch. High and outside, and Aaron that time has shortened up on the bat, which seemed to indicate that he was going to try to move that runner in a scoring position at second base. A time is called as the first base coach, Johnny Fitzpatrick, calls Eddie Mathews off first base and whispers something to him. Ball 1 and no strikes. Left-hander Ford kicks and delivers, and it's high. Ball 2, 2-0. Ball 2 and no strikes. As Ford at the moment is having a little trouble with his control. As I mentioned a little bit earlier, Whitey has not gone the distance for quite some time now, and he might be tiring here in the last half of the 8th. And the first sign you get that a pitcher is tiring is when he starts missing that corner, coming around with that pitch that's not in there. Ball 2, no strikes. Outfield deep for Henry Aaron. The pitch, and here is a spike on the outside corner at the letters. Ball 2 and strike 1. Aaron again, as he reaches down for the handful of dirt, glances down at Billy Herman. Third base coach, who had a great career as a second baseman with the Chicago Cubs. Runner on first, none out. 2-1 pitch. A swing and a drive back in the right field. Going back is Hank Bauer towards the wall. He leaps. This one is out there to the bases. Eddie Mathews rounding second base on his way to third. Aaron goes into second base. The throw gets away from the shortstop Kubek, but it's picked up by Carey. First base hit of the 1958 World Series. A long drive that eluded the grasp of Hank Bauer as he leaps against the screen fence. It bounced away from Hank. Mathews, who was forced to hold up, comes around the third base. Aaron's on second base. And a time is called by Yogi Berra. He's out talking to Whitey Ford. Now the Milwaukee Braves have the tying run on third. the lead run on second base. Nobody is out. The batter is Joe Adcock. And here comes Casey Stengel. Out of the dugout, the old legend and quite a guy. Casey Stengel makes his first appearance. Casey has a lot of friends around Wisconsin. Back in his early days, in his managerial career, he headed the old Milwaukee Brewers of the American Association. Of course, at one time, he managed the old Boston Braves. And he has had nothing but great success in his 10 years as the manager of the very strong New York Yankees. And Case is out there right now, and this is going to be all for Whitey Ford, as Casey has moved the right hand, and the second base umpire, Tom Gorman, starts out toward short right center field, calling in the man that Casey has designated. Let's see now. Casey comes down to say something to the home plate umpire, Al Barlick. So that'll be all for Whitey Ford. Here's the announcement. And the Milwaukee Braves are going to get a look at the guy with the blazing speed, Rhino Durham. As Doran makes his first Major League appearance in his home state of Wisconsin. From Casanova, Wisconsin, he moves in from the bullpen in right center field. Whitey Ford worked 7 complete innings, faced 2 men here in the 8th. So far, he has allowed 2 runs. If Mathews scores, or if Mathews and Aaron score, the runs will be charged to the record of Whitey Ford. So Whitey has a chance to figure in the victory in this ball game if the Yankees win it, and the Braves cannot score here in the last half of the 8th. And he also has a chance to be the loser if the Braves do score, and Spahn can hold the Yankees in the 9th inning. And replacing Doran in the bullpen in right center is Art Dittenlar. So here is Rhino Durham, and he makes his first appearance in a World Series. Rhino Durham, well-built, right-hander, 6'2", 195 pounds. He's 29 years old. Although he was born in Wisconsin, he now makes his home in very lovely country, San Antonio, Texas. His first World Series appearance. So this right-hander may find himself a little nervous as Whitey Ford gets a wonderful ovation as the blonde-haired southpaw moves across the third base foul line and heads into the third base dugout. Here's Doran with that great speed. He had a tough break this summer. As he was hit by a pitch ball, he was beamed, and since that time has not been as effective as he was in the early part of the 58 campaign. So Rhino Durham, taking his warm-up throws, is being observed very closely by Joe Adcock. The Braves had been known in the National League as a fastball-hitting club. Now they're going to get a chance to see one of the fastest pitches in the Major Leagues, or so the report goes from the American League. Rhino Durham. Doran has pitched for the Kansas City Athletics. He was purchased by the New York Yankees October the 1st last year. Great speed. And they also tell me he's got a good curveball. He just threw a changeup to Yogi Berra. So these Milwaukee Braves hitters will have to watch him now as he can really mix them up. One of the tricks of the trade is employed frequently by Doran with that great speed. He'll throw a couple of wild pitches, which might make the on-deck hitter a little uneasy. Well, we're ready. Last half of the 8th inning, Yankees lead the Braves 3-2. Eddie Mathews on third base. Henry Aaron on second base with a double. And the Yankee infield is playing in for a play at the plate. The outfield is around the left and playing deep for Joe Adcock. He singled to right in the second. Grounded out to third base in the fourth and fly to left field in the fifth. One hit in 3 times at bat. Doran starts into the motion. First pitch to Joe, and a swing and a miss. Strike one. Strike one the count. Joe is what is known as a free swinger. And as Bob Wolf pointed out, he's hit a couple of home runs, which are still being discussed in the National League. Runners on second and third base. Nobody out. Yankees lead 3-2. Rhino Durham replacing Whitey Ford. Here is the windup. The 0-1 pitch. That's high and outside, and it's ball one and strike one. Whitey Ford allowed 2 runs on 6 hits. He walked 3. And the great left-hander had 8 strikeouts in 7 completed innings. Ball one and strike one the count. Doran peering down for his sign from Yogi Berra. Starts into the motion. Here's the 1-1 pitch, and he swing and a miss as Joe tried to hold up on a fastball on the letters inside corner at 1-2. Wes Covington is on deck. Ryan Doran in a tough spot. This guy, I don't imagine, has to reach back for any extra because when he throws a pitch, he's got all the extra on it. Moves down off the rubber. Ball one and strike two. The outfield to the left. The infield playing in. Mathews on third base. Aaron on second base. Nobody is out. Last half of the eighth, the pitch. Here's a swing and a miss. He struck him out. And that is strikeout number 1 for Doran. And the 9th Milwaukee Brave to go down on strikes today. Casey Stengel moves out of the dugout as the left-handed power hitter, left fielder Wes Covington, stands outside the batter's box. Well, let's see what Casey's going to do now. He calls in his shortstop, Tony Kubek. Yogi Berra's out there, along with Rhino Durham. And a discussion going on the pitcher's mound. Covington this afternoon has fouled out to the catcher, Berra. He has grounded to second base, and he has lined the left field. The Braves had a previous look at Doran, but it was in an exhibition game in spring training. Whitey Ford leading off here in the last half of the 8th inning, walked Eddie Mathews. Then Aaron pumped the double to right field off the screen, almost caught by Hank Bauer. And that was the end of Whitey as Casey brought in Rhino Durham, who struck out Joe Adcock. Now there's 1 out. Runners on second and third base. Wes Covington, a left-handed batter. The pitch is a swing and a miss, and it's strike 1 as Covington cut hard. Strike 1 count. Art Ditmar continues loosening up in the Yankee bullpen. No ball, 1 strike count. To swing and a drive to left center field. This might score the run. Mickey Mantle's coming over. Mathews tagging. And Mantle makes a fine running catch. Here is a tying run scoring. The Papko's in at second base. The first fly for Wes Covington. And the Braves have tied at 3-3. Mickey Mantle showing that speed, making a very fine running catch in left center field in front of Elston Howard. As Covington drives in his first run of the series, the ball game is tied at 3-3, and that run is charged to Whitey Ford, who now has allowed 3 runs. Tie-breaking run on second base. 2 men are out. The batter is the catcher, Del Crandall. Crandall called out on his strikes in the second. Single to left field, a drive and a run in the 4th inning, and was thrown out by Yogi Berra on a tap in front of the plate in the 6th. Henry Aaron in scoring position on second base. Aaron, a very deceptive runner, has good speed. Crandall getting set. Here is Doran's first pitch, and a swing and miss, strike 1. Strike one the count on Crandall, who hails from Fullerton, California. 3-3 ball game in the last half of the 8th inning. And a right-hander continues to keep warm in the bullpen for New York. Doran checks the runner and delivers. Here's a swing and a miss on a changeup, and it's strike two. Pitch was on the inside corner at the belt. Strike two count on Del Crandall. On deck is Andy Pafko. Doran reaching down for the rosin sack. Strike two count. Doran has gotten out in front of the three men he has faced here, Adcock, Covington, and now Crandall. 0-2 pitch. Breaks low out there. Strike three. He is called out. On the outside corner knee high, Crandall is called out. And that retires the side. Strikeout number 2 for Doran, and the 10th Brave to get on in strikes. 1 run, 1 hit, no errors. 1 man was left on base, and the score at the end of the 8th inning is New York 3, Milwaukee 3.
Hurry and get your Gillette TV razor. Just 79 cents, man, what a buy. And we'll tell you it's in short supply. So hurry and get your Gillette TV razor. Go get one fast and be in luck. Just 79 cents instead of a buck.
We're going into the 9th inning. Ball game is tied. The Yankees 3 and the Braves 3. New York scored a run in the 4th inning on a home run by Scullin. Added 2 more in the 5th inning on a 2-run belt by Hank Bauer. The Braves scored 2 runs in the last half of the 4th inning. Added the tying run in the last half of the 8th. And so right now, as we go to the last inning, the 9th, it is anybody's ball game. Bill Scullin leads off for New York. Scullin has bounced a single to left field, a high chopper over the third baseman's head. Hit a home run, line shot down the left field line in the 4th inning, and was thrown out by Eddie Mathews in the 6th. Wes Covington had called the time and wanted some sunglasses in left field. The shadows have increased now to where they have just about covered the shortstop position. Leading off, Bill Scullin, first pitch, outside, ball 1. Ball 1 and no strikes. Yankees batting in the 9th. Scullin, Carey, and Kubek to face Warren Spahn. The stylish southpaw kicks and delivers. There's a swing and a foul up the screen. And it's ball 1 and strike 1. Bill Scullin, who was quite a football prospect when he entered college at Purdue University, but decided on a baseball career. He's strong. Last year was bothered quite a bit by a bad back. Swings, misses, strike 2. Ball 1 and a strike 2 count. Warren Spahn, whose earned run average in the National League this past season was 3.07. 22 wins, 11 losses. The 1-2 pitch. A swing and a miss. He struck him out, and that's one away. That's strikeout number 5 for Warren Spahn. One away, and it brings up third baseman Andy Carey. Carey has flied to Papko in center. Struck out in the 4th inning and had a base hit taken away by Eddie Mathews. Hard hit ball to Eddie's left. In the 6th, Mathews tossing out Carey at first base. So Andy is looking for his first series base hit and takes the ball. It's outside. Ball 1 and no strikes. First half of the 9th inning in a 3-3 ball game. A swing and a miss on a changeup, and it's even up at ball 1 and strike 1. One of the great students of baseball working for the Milwaukee Braves this afternoon, Warren Spahn. When he's not pitching, he's busy studying opposing hitters. 1-1 pitch, and there's a swing and a ground ball to the shortstop. Logan comes up, over to first base. He is out. That's 2 away in the 9th inning. Hard hit ball right at shortstop, Johnny Logan. Brings up the shortstop, Tony Kubek. Kubek called out on strikes in the 2nd. Fly to left field in the 5th inning, and was tossed out. Adcock to Spahn covering first base in the 6th inning. Tony batting with 2 outs, nobody on base. The Yankees and the Braves tied at 3-3 in the 9th. Spahn, first pitch, is low outside. It's ball 1. Ball 1, no strikes. This has not been a pitcher's win today, as it is blowing across that outfield. Now it's more out towards left field, and at 15 miles an hour. Curveball breaks low, ball 2 on Tony Kubek. Spahn, no doubt, is being very careful with Kubek, with the pitcher due to hit next. And Casey Stengel has nobody loosening up in the bullpen in right center field. Doran is the scheduled hitter coming up after Kubek. 2-0 pitch, a swing and ground ball to the second baseman, Schoendienst. Up over to first base. He is out. And the Yankees are 3 up and 3 down. And Spahn now has retired 12 consecutive batters. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left on base. We go to the last half of the 9th inning with a score. The Yankees 3 and the Braves 3. And now let's pause for station identification.
This is WGY, WGFM, the General Electric Station, Schenectady. The time, 5:32.
Going of the last half of the 9th inning. It's a tie ball game with the Yankees and the Braves knotted at 3-3. New York 3 runs on 7 hits and 1 error. Milwaukee 3 runs, 6 hits and no errors. Billy Bruton is going to bat for Andy Pafko. Billy Bruton, who missed the 1957 World Series because of a badly damaged right knee at the time the Braves met the Yankees last fall. Billy was visiting a doctor in Oklahoma. A left-handed batter, Bruton steps in the batter's box. The third baseman, Carey, is playing on the edge of the infield grass. Billy is a good bunter. And the first pitch is high, a fastball, ball 1 and no strikes. Bruton was born in Panola, Alabama, now resides in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Ball 1, no strikes to count. Score is tied at 3-3 in the last half of the 9th inning. Red Schoendienst is on deck. Warren Spahn is due to hit next. The 1-0 pitch, and that's a strike on the inside corner letter high. It's even at ball 1 and strike 1. Ball 1 and strike 1. And the advantage of the home field here means sudden death for the Yankees right now if the Braves score. Outfield playing around to the left. Duran's 1-1 pitch. Blowing inside, that's ball 2, and it's 2-1. Ball 2, and a strike 1 count. Andy Pafko, who played a bang-up ball game in center field, had 1 hit and 3 times at bat, and sent Howard to the fence for his drive in the 6th inning. Single in the 4th. 2-1 pitch, a swing and a miss, and that's strike 2, and it's even up on Billy Bruton at ball 2 and strike 2. Doran is the second pitcher used by Casey Stengel. Starter Whitey Ford went 7 innings, facing 2 men in the 8th. Gave up 3 runs on 6 hits, walked 3, struck out 8, and was charged with 1 wild pitch. 2-2 pitch, a swing and a miss. He struck him out, and that's strikeout number 3 for Doran. So Rhino has struck out 3 of the 4 men he has faced. Here's Warren Spahn, who drove in a mighty important run in the 4th inning with a single to center field. Struck out in the 2nd and flied to left center field in the 7th. Left-handed batter with 1 man out, nobody on base, and Red Schoendienst on deck. Doran, bending over at the waist, gets his sign from Yogi Berra. The right-hander delivers a swing and miss, and Spahn cut so hard he swung out from underneath his batting helmet. Strike one count. Warren Spahn, who has had the thrill of hitting quite a few home runs in his major league career, had 2 in 1958, and looked like that time he was trying to end the ball game in a hurry. Yankees and Braves are tied 3-3 in the last half of the ninth inning. The right-hander comes down with a pitch. Here's a swing and a ground ball to second base. The left in the right field for base hit. Warren Spahn singles to right. And Spahn's bat continues to raise havoc with enemy pitchers. He has 2 for 4 today and has driven in a very important run for Milwaukee. And the Braves now have the potential winning run on first base with 1 out. That is hit number 1 off Doran, and the base hits are even up at 7 apiece. Red Schoendienst hitless and 4 times at bat. A switch hitter now batting left-handed for the first time today against the right-hander Rhino Durham. The pitch, a swing of foul up the screen, and it's a strike one count. Schoendienst will admit himself that he is a better left-handed swinger than from the right side of the plate. Probably because he gets more of a chance, as the Braves have seen, percentage-wise, quite a few more right-handers than left-handers. No ball, 1 strike count on Schoendienst, and Doran wants a different baseball. Working with Warren Spahn on first base. Spahn with that heavy warm-up jacket on now because of a very cool breeze here in Milwaukee. 1 man is out. The pitch to Red Schoendienst. High and outside, and it's even up at ball 1 and strike 1. As Spahn takes the lead, Bill Scullin holding him on at first base. 1 out, the 1-1 pitch, a swing and a miss, and it's strike 2. Foul tip, hit off Yogi Berra's chest protector. 1 and 2 on Schoendienst. The shortstop, Johnny Logan, is in the on-deck circle off to the right of the plate. Braves occupy the first base dugout here at Milwaukee County Stadium. Yankees over on the third base side. 0-1 and strike 2. Schoendienst choking up quite a bit on the handle of the bat. Watching Duran's every move. The 1 and 2 pitch. Low and outside. It's even at 2 and 2. Ball 2, strike 2 on the leadoff man. Veteran second baseman Red Schoendienst. Red, who for quite a few years was a great star with the St. Louis Cardinals, now lives in St. Louis during the offseason. Continues waving his bat around. Runner on first base, 1 out. Here's the 2-2 pitch. High and outside, it's ball 3. Ball 3 and strike 2. Rhino Durham has worked 1 1/3 innings. On the whole, has been out in front of these Milwaukee hitters. Now he has the full count on Red Schoendienst. Ball 3, strike 2. 1 man is out. Warren Spahn on first base with a base hit. Score tied 3-3 in the last half of the ninth inning. Ball 3 and strike 2. 1 man is out. Runner on first, representing the winning run of the ball game. The pitch. Ball 4. And there is walk number 1 given up by Rhino Durham. And the potential winning run moves into scoring position at second base. And Spahn is a fairly fast runner for a pitcher. Always keeps himself in excellent condition. Yogi Berra is out talking to Rhino Durham, and the Yankee bullpen comes alive as the right-hander starts loosening up again. The Braves here in the last half of the ninth inning have Spahn on second base, Schoendienst on first base, Johnny Logan the batter. Logan moves away from home plate as Berra again goes out to talk to Doran. Logan doubled down the left field line in the first inning. Struck out twice today in the third and the seventh, and grounded out to the shortstop in the fifth. Now manager Fred Haney is going to a pinch batter, and this is first baseman Frank Torrey, who had himself a banner year in 1958. Frank Torrey, who finished at 309 with 22 doubles, 5 triples, 6 home runs, and 56 runs batted in. Fred Haney, manager of the Milwaukee Braves, has been blessed with 2 very fine first basemen. Torrey, not the power hitter that Joe Adcock is, always manages to get a piece of that ball. And that's what Fred Haney wants right now, just a piece of that ball, a line base hit, any kind of a base hit, as he has the winning run on second base. Milwaukee runners on first and second base. 1 man is out, and Torrey is up there batting for Johnny Logan. So Haney has gone to his second pinch hitter in the last half of the ninth inning. A left-handed swinger. Runners on first and second, 1 out. Here is the pitch, and it's a curveball, low inside, ball 1 and no strike. Billy Bruton led off in the last half of the ninth inning, batting for Andy Pafko, and struck out. Warren Spahn singled to right field. Schoendienst and Doran waged a stiff battle there before Doran finally walked Red Schoendienst. And now there are Milwaukee runners on first and second base. The 1-0 pitch. There's a swing and a pop-up out to the shortstop. Going back is Kubek, makes the play. And that's 2 away in the last half of the ninth inning. Leaves it up to third baseman Eddie Mathews. Mathews getting his first look at a right-hander. Struck out in the first and the third off Whitey Ford. Walked in the fifth and the eighth inning. Scored Milwaukee's tying run in the last half of the eighth. So here is a left-handed batter, Eddie Mathews, with runners on first and second base, 2 outs. Last half of the ninth. Score tied 3-3. Each team with 7 base hits. Outfield about straight away for Ed. Doran goes into the stretch. Arms down, the pitch. A swing, a foul up the screen behind home plate, and it's strike 1 on Mathews. No ball, 1 strike count. Mathews was born in Texarkana, Texas, but made his home in Santa Barbara, California, most of his young life. Now resides in Brookfield, Wisconsin, suburb of Milwaukee. Strike 1 count on Ed. Runners on first and second base, 2 outs. Here's a swing and a miss. Strike 2. Now Doran is out in front of Mathews, the Braves third baseman. Strike 2 count. And Mathews will be called upon to really guard that plate. Warren Spahn on second base. Red Schoendienst on first base. 2 outs in the last half of the ninth inning. The Yankees 3, the Milwaukee Braves 3. In a fine, tingling performance here at Milwaukee County Stadium. Into the stretch, the 0-2 pitch. A swing and a miss. He struck him out to retire the side. Strikeout number 4 for Rhino Durham in 2 innings. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. 2 men were left on base, and the score at the end of 9 innings, the Yankees 3 and the Braves 3. Well, we go on now to the top half of the 10th inning. Extra innings in the first game of the 1958 World Series. And all set for the action out here in what should be a real great finish. The voice of the Washington Senators, Bob Wolf.
Thank you, Earl Gillespie. What a thriller this has been. And there are thrills still in store. There are 2 changes coming up now. Bruton goes in center field, and Felix Mantilla takes over at shortstop as we go into the 10th inning. Well, this has been a game which one could actually go back and take a look at heroes galore up through the first 9. And, of course, there is still more to come. Warren Spahn, who has distinguished himself with 2 hits this afternoon. One drove in a most important run. Of course, he was matched against Whitey Ford, who was in great strikeout form while Whitey was in there. And then Rhino Durham came in with a spine-tingling performance in which, with the winning run on base for Milwaukee, he got a big strikeout to send the game into extra innings. Of course, there'll be some who look back on Casey Stengel's maneuvering. Casey is always unpredictable, but one of the great managers in baseball. In the 8th inning, with men on 3rd and 2nd and 1 out, the Yankees elected to pitch to Wes Covington, a left-handed batter. And Wes sent a sacrifice fly out to left center, bringing in what proved to be the tying run. It was quite a gamble for New York. Del Crandall, a right-handed batter, not famed for being fleet of foot, was the next man up, and he struck out. But the Braves tied it, and now comes the 10th inning, and the leadoff batter for New York is Rhino Durham. The first pitch swung on. It's a one-hopper knocked down by Spahn. He picks it up. He throws to first, and Doran is out. And that in itself is a rare feat because Doran is a pitcher who usually stands far away from the plate, doesn't do much hitting as far as pitching goes, but he stepped up there this time and sent the hopper back to the mound and is out number 1 in this 10th inning. And now here's Hank Bauer, who has singled, lined out to left, homered to left. That was a 2-run homer in the 5th, and he has popped up. It was Bauer's homer which put the New Yorkers out in front by a 3-2 score, only to find the Braves tie it in the bottom of the 8th. And that's what it is right now, 3-3. Here's Bauer in facing Spahn. The first pitch is wide for a ball. Hank will be followed by Gil McDougald. And Warren Spahn here has been mowing down these New York Yankees since the last hit. That came in the 6th inning by Yogi Berra. There's a pitch almost hitting Bauer. He quickly moves back from the plate, and it's now ball 2. Don McMahon is now warming up, and he is the Braves counterpart of Rhino Durham. Count ball 2 to Bauer. Here's the windup by Spahn, and the pitch to Bauer is low for ball 3. Walks have proved to be an important part of the first 9. A walk to Whitey Ford in the 5th inning preceded Bauer's home run. And that, of course, proved to be a big run as Ford came around. All set to go. Here's the 3-0 pitch. And it's over for a called strike. So it's ball 3 and strike 1. And the Braves, on a walk, eventually scored the tying run as Mathews walked in the 8th, was moved to 3rd on Aaron's 2-bagger and scored on Covington's sacrifice fly. Now we're all set to go. 3-1 the count. Here comes the pitch to Bauer. And it's a strike call from the outside corner. On the count now is 3-2 to Big Hank. 1 out. We're in the 10th inning. In extra innings this afternoon. In a real thriller from the very start. Ball game all tied at 3-3. Each side has 7 hits. Ready for that 3-2 pitch to Bauer. Here it comes. And there's a hard foul outside of 3rd. And the count holds at 3-2. Bauer walks away from the plate there. He's getting another bat. But the count 3-2 to Bauer. Now Bauer stepping back in, on to the new club. Warren Spahn has retired 13 in a row. He's trying to get over the hump now for number 14. Bauer all set with a 3-2 pitch. Here it comes. And there's a foul going back to the press box. Hit the facing just above it. So the count holds at 3-2 to Hank Bauer. The Yankees have scored their 3 runs on homers. A solo homer by Scullin coming in the 4th, and Bauer's 2-run homer in the 5th. Braves, on RBIs by Crandall and Spahn, scored 2 in the 4th, and Covington's sacrifice fly brought in the tying run. Bauer swings and misses. It's a strikeout. Now they're 2 away in the top half of the 10th inning as Gil McDougald, who singled a liner off Mathews' glove in the 1st, since then has walked, grounded out, and struck out. Comes up here in the 10th with 2 outs. Nobody aboard. Warren Spahn on the mound. Now has 6 strikeouts in the ball game.
That field pulled around just slightly toward left, Miguel. 2 outs, nobody on. The windup by Spahn. The pitch swung on. There's the ball knocked down by Spahn. Rolls over to Mancia. He can make no throw, and McDougall is across first base with a hit. A liner knocked down by Spahn. It rolled about 15 feet behind the mound, but Mancia coming in picked it up, but had no chance for a throw, and McDougall is on with a base hit. That means that the Yankees' big man, Mickey Mantle, who is 0 for 3 in a walk, comes up now. Mickey has hit 2 on the nose to center. Both snared by Papko while he was in the game. Bruton is out there now in that center field spot. So here's Mantle stepping in with 2 outs. McDougall on first. Spahn looks around at his defensive alignment. The outfield is pulled far around for Mantle, who is batting right-handed against the southpaw. Here's the pitch, and it's inside for a ball. Ball 1, the count to Mickey Mantle. McDougall on first, taking a very slim lead. Ball with the stretch from the paws. Here's the pitch, and it's inside and high, and the count now is ball 2 to Mantle. Mickey bats in the number 3 spot for the New York Yankees. Tie ball game, we're in the 10th inning. All tied up at 3-3. Now Spahn looks in to get the side from Crandall. It's ball 2 to Mantle. A look toward the runner at first, McDougall. Here's the pitch. And the pitch comes in high. And it's ball 3. Elston Howard is on deck. The Braves came close to pushing across that final run of the ball game in the bottom of the 9th. But Doran came up with a big strikeout, and 2 Braves were stranded in the bottom half of the 9th inning. Ball 3 to Mickey Mantle. Stretching the paws by Spahn. Here's the pitch. And it is ball 4. And on 4 pitches, Mantle draws a walk. That moves McDougall to second. And with 2 outs and 2 on, the Yankees' number 4 hitter, Elston Howard, is coming up. That walk is the 4th of Spahn. Howard has flied out 3 times, hit into a force-out play in the 5th inning. So he's 0 for 4. He comes up with 2 out and 2 on in the 10th inning. Spahn all set to work. Here's the pitch to Howard, and it's in the dirt, scooped up by Crandall for ball 1. Ball 1 to Elston Howard. Spahn, all set, gets the sign now from Crandall. McDougall edges off second, Mantle off first. Here comes the pitch, and it's wide, and that's ball 2 to Howard. It means that Spahn has now thrown 6 balls in a row. Crandall hustles out to speak to the southpaw. Don McMahon warming up for Milwaukee in the bullpen. And now Crandall is back. Count is 2-0 to Howard. Runners on first and second and 2 away. Spahn gets the sign. Left-hander, the stretch from the paws. A look back toward the runner on second. Howard waits. Here comes the pitch. And there goes a fly ball to right field. Aaron is there. He's got it. In the 10th inning, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 2 are left. And the score after the top half of the 10th inning, New York 3, Milwaukee 3. Well, here's the bottom half of the 10th. You can just hear that murmur throughout the pack stands here as Hank Aaron comes up. He doubled to right field in the 8th inning. Bauer up against the fence, leaped for one, got his glove on it, knocked it to the ground, couldn't hold it, and Aaron steamed into second base. That was the big inning, you may recall, when Mathews led off with a walk. Aaron then doubled Mathews to third. At this stage of the ball game, Whitey Ford left, replaced by Rhino Durham. Doran struck out Joe Adcock. And then there was a conference at the mound. The Yankees decided to pitch to West Covington and brought the infield in. Covington sent a fly ball out to left center, snared by Mantle on the run. Mathews scored the tying run. Then Crandall looked at a called strike three to retire the side. So that was a big 8th inning for the Braves, put them right back in the ball game. And now in the 10th inning, it's Hank Aaron stepping in. Hank, this afternoon, is 1 for 3, and he walked back in the 4th inning and later scored in that inning, driven in by Del Crandall, who in turn was driven in by Warren Spahn. Aaron steps in, all set to face Rhino Durham, the Yankee right-hander. Deals, and the first pitch is a called strike. It was a breaking pitch to Aaron. Well, Rhino Durham has the shadows in his favor right now. They've extended beyond the infield. The sunspot still remaining a center and just a little bit of left and part of right. Doran, a real fastballer, pitching in those shadows here in Milwaukee. It's strike 1 to Aaron. Here's the windup. And the next pitch is a strike call to the knees. Strike 2 to Hank Aaron. Joe Adcock is the big man on deck. Then comes Wes Covington. Rhino Durham goes back to the rosin. Hank Aaron has hit safely in all of his World Series games, all 7 last year, and this one this year. 2 strikes the count. Aaron in and waiting, right-handed batter. Doran winds, here's the pitch, and there's a foul clipped off over the Milwaukee dugout, off to the right. So it's strike 2, still to Aaron. Doran out there in the mound, 29 years old. He just can rear back and blaze that ball. He had a 6-win, 4-loss record for the New York Yankees this past season and was manager Casey Stengel's big stopper in the bullpen. He was the fellow that the Yankees called in those last innings or innings. 2 strikes to Aaron. There's the sign from Bauer, the windup by Durham, and the right-hander's pitch on the way. A swing and a ball which was just nicked. It was in and out of Bauer's mitt, and so Aaron stays up there with a 2-strike count. That was just kicked in and out of Bauer's mitt. Yogi rubs up a new ball before giving it back to Doran at the mound. The outfield playing far back for Hank Aaron. One of those long clouts by Aaron could end this first World Series game. It's all tied right now at 3-3. And now Doran wants to get onto the baseball, and Al Barlick, the plate umpire, obliges. Aaron steps back in, leading off the bottom half of the 10th inning for Milwaukee. Braves have 7 hits, and the Yankees have had 8. Now Doran gets the sign from Bauer. Aaron waits for the 2-strike count. Doran takes a little more time. Now shakes one off from Bauer, and as he does so, Aaron steps out on him. Hank steps back in. Doran is back off the mound, tugs at his cap. Now peers forward behind those glasses to get the sign from Bauer. Starts the windup. Here's the pitch. And it's a swing and a miss. The ball's dropped by Bauer. He picks it up to throw to first base just in time. That was close. Oh, it's a strikeout with the put-out going to Scullin. Yogi, a little difficulty that time fighting the ball, which had rolled a few feet behind him. He sort of spun around looking for it. Finally picked it up in time to whip it to first base for the out. Now Doran has 5 strikeouts in 2 1/3 innings pitched. And the batter is Joe Adcock, who is 1 for 4. He singled his first time up and has gone out 3 times since then. Adcock, tall right-handed batter, in with 1 out in the bottom half of the 10th inning. Doran, all set to work. Up goes the right arm. Here's the pitch, and it's inside for a ball. Doran doesn't mind the opposing batters knowing that he has trouble with his vision out there in the mound. He feels that it keeps them pretty loose at the plate. Ball 1, the count to Adcock. 1 out, we're in the bottom half of the 10th inning. Here's the windup, and the next pitch, swung on and missed. And the count now is 1-1. On deck, it's Wes Covington. So Doran has the long ball hitters to contend with here in this bottom of the 10th. Count 1-1. Yankee outfielders are playing deep for Adcock. Now Doran looks in to get the sign from Bauer. Right-hander, all set. Adcock waiting with a 1-1 count. Here's the windup by Doran. And the pitch on the way. Swung on. Here's a shot going to center field for fielded by Mickey Mantle. It was a line to the right of the mound. McDougal tried to cut it off, couldn't do it. And it went on to the right of second base to center field as Adcock has his second hit. And now, here's a big gun for the Braves, Wes Covington, who drove in the tying run in the 8th inning with a sacrifice fly. Wes 0 for 3 plus the sacrifice fly. And he comes up now with Adcock on first and 1 out. Score knotted at 3-3. We're in the bottom half of the 10th inning. Bauer, way back in right field. Covington, left-handed batter, in and waiting. Stretching the pause by Doran. Here's the pitch. There's a fly ball going to left field. Howard is back on the cinder path waiting, and he has it there. And Adcock, who was 2/3 of the way to second base, now gets back to first. Elston Howard took it on the cinder path in left, just a few feet from the fence. So Covington with a long out, number 2. Adcock stays at first base. On the batter is Del Crandall, who is 1 for 4 this afternoon and has scored one of the Braves' 3 runs. Del Crandall gets a little dirt before stepping in. Well, Del will be going for that long ball here. When he faced Doran in the 8th inning, he looked at a called strike 3. Adcock on first, there are 2 outs. Now Doran, with the stretch and the pause and a quick throw to first base, moves Adcock back to the bag. Outfield pulls slightly toward left. The Yankee infield with 2 outs is back deep at normal depth. Stretch and the pause by Doran. Here's the pitch, and it's inside. Crandall falls back to the ground. Ball 1. Crandall comes up, dusts himself off. Al Barlick dusts off home plate. Crandall back in and waiting. Andy Carey at third base is playing Crandall strictly to pull the ball. He's about 5 or 6 feet inside the line and deep. Papko is out of the ball game, so Bruton's on deck. There's a ground ball going into center field. Adcock goes into second base, and Crandall is on first with a single through the middle into center field. Well, the Milwaukee Braves once again have the winning run on second in the person of Joe Adcock, as Del Crandall with a high hopper through the middle of the diamond into center field has put Adcock on second. Crandall is on first. There are 2 outs, and Bill Bruton is coming up here with a chance now to drive in the winning run for the Milwaukee Braves. Let's see what happens. This is the second inning in a row that the Braves have had that tie-breaking and winning run on second. Doran all set to work. The pitch to Bruton. Swung on and fouled back at strike 1. Score is knotted at 3-3 in the bottom half of the 10th, and a game replete with thrills of every description this afternoon. And Bruton up there now with a 1-strike count. Adcock is on second. Crandall on first, 2 outs. But of course, the big man is the man out there at second in scoring position. Bruton at the plate, left-handed batter, waiting with a 1-strike count. And Doran again wants to change baseball and get the new one. Now we're all set to go. Bruton waiting. There's a stretch in the pause by Doran. Here's the pitch, and the pitch comes in high. The count now is 1-1. Doran again steps back off the mound as Bruton steps out of the batter's box. Now Bill back in, bumps the bat on the plate, looks out to the mound. Doran tugs at the cap, now digs in against the pitching rubber. There's a look back toward the runner at second. Joe Adcock, the stretch and the pause. A 1-1 pitch. Swung on. Fly back going to right center field. It's in there for a base hit. Adcock comes in to score, and there's the ball game. Let's go this crowd.
Well, there's the ball game as Bill Bruton sent a smash out to right center field. It was in between Mantle and Bauer, rolled far out toward the fence in right center field, and Joe Adcock, who was on second, came in to score, and there's the ball game as the Milwaukee Braves come out in this bottom half of the 10th inning with the winning run and take the first game of the World Series Classic. The total for Milwaukee, 4 runs, 10 hits, no errors. For New York, 3 runs, 8 hits, 1 error. In just a moment, we'll review the highlights of today's game for you.
Are you struggling with pin curls every night, putting off a permanent because you're afraid your hair will look too curly? Forget it. Now Tony guarantees a new permanent that holds a set far longer and still gives you the look you want. It's new Tony with hidden body, blended in with costly conditioning liquids never before used for permanent waving. Tony's hidden body wave gives you any look you want. If you like curls, set them and you get them. Hidden body can give you the new full-bodied puffed look, too, or set it smooth and sleek. Tony's hidden body will never show, never droop either. It holds a set like no other permanent can, and only Tony has it. So get the look you want. Put long-lasting hidden body in your hair. Remember,
Only Tony can put it there.
new Tony with hidden body. New flip-up end papers, too.
Well, there's the ball game, ladies and gentlemen, and what a thriller it was. A 10-inning affair. Bill Bruton's base hit, a solid smash to right center, won the ball game in the 10th inning. And the crowd here is still buzzing as they leave. And what a roar went up here in Milwaukee when Bruton came through with that big hit. Bruton, who went in the 9th inning to replace Andy Pafko and stayed in the 10th inning to win the ball game. Warren Spahn is the victorious pitcher this afternoon, coming up with the big victory in the first game of the series, and the loser in relief was Rhino Durham. In the ball game this afternoon, Spahn was not only the winning pitcher, but his bat proved most important in the Milwaukee attack. The Yankees used their favorite weapon this afternoon, the home run. Scullin had a homer in the 4th inning. But in the bottom of the 4th, Crandall drove in Hank Aaron, who had walked, moved to second on a pass ball, and to third on an infield out. Crandall drove in Aaron, and then Warren Spahn drove in Del Crandall, who had moved from first to second on a hit by Papko. So the Braves then went ahead by a score of 2-1. In the top of the 5th, Bauer's 2-run homer, scoring Whitey Ford, put the Yankees in front 3-2. Then in the bottom half of the 8th inning, Wes Covington's sacrifice fly brought in Mathews, who had walked and moved to third on Aaron's Kubak to right. That knotted the ball game at 3-3, sent the game into the 10th inning, and it was Bruton's base hit in this 10th inning which won the ball game. After Aaron had struck out, Adcock singled, then Covington fly deep to Elston Howard. Crandall sent one through the middle, moving Adcock to second, and then came the payoff blow by Bruton. So that was the story with 4 runs, 10 hits, and no errors for the Milwaukee Braves. And for the Yankees, 3 runs, 8 hits, and 1 error in the first.